In their selection, let us go with the first pick in the 2020 draft. Joe Burrow, quarterback, LSU. He's being chased. And Burrow dives, touchdown!
What do you say we get this show started, folks? Woo! What do you say, people? What's going on, everybody? Christian Bauer here, Ballard Sports Media. Welcome in to the special edition of the Unprofessional Sports Show. Of course, as you guys know, formerly a two-man show with myself and Mr. TikTok Chess Hall, who quit. Y'all still go subscribe to Chess Hall. He's an amazing man. I love you, brother, if you're watching this. Let's get this going. Episode 4 of Season 4. This is the Super Bowl special, and I'm going to do something a little different, right? I am going to drop the link and let you guys on if anyone would like to join in, but here's the challenge. Keep it related to the game. Keep it related to the game. It's that simple, right? Super Bowl 56. I've already done a preview video. I've already kind of given out how I feel about the game, right? But I do want to talk about what's at stake. I want to look at, first thing I want to do is look at history, right? Let's just go ahead and do that. What do we have here? Let's look at some history real quick. So, of course, 54 other Super Bowls, 55 I should say, have been played in Super Bowl history, right? We know that. So you look at some history here. The Bengals and Rams in history, this is not necessarily postseason. This is like even in regular season. They have met 14 different times. Cincinnati holds a lead record of 8-6 over the St. Louis/LA Rams. If you go back all the way to 1972, I think, didn't they start out as Los Angeles, and then I think they were St. Louis. They have not met, though, since a London game in the regular season in 2015. So it's been a couple years, but not too long, right? Obviously. What's up, Jacob? How you doing? It's been quite some time. Cincinnati is 0-2 in Super Bowls. In history, they have made 2, they have lost 2. Here you go right here, right? Their first appearance was 1981, or it was January 24th of 1982, 81 season, right? The next year, or not even the next year, I apologize, a few years down the road, they would rematch with the Niners. But the first time around, they lost 26-21. Then count it 7 years later, they would lose again 20-16. 2 appearances for the Bengals, 2 losses. So it would be historic if they won on Sunday because it'd be their first in franchise history. Would it matter though? Like, is it a big deal that they lost to, but we're going back 30, 40 years? I don't think they're looking at that. I don't think it's like we got to redeem ourselves for what happened 40 years ago. It's literally, who cares? It's not recency. That it was irrelevant in the 80s when they lost those, right? Again, they lost to the Niners 26-21. And then a rematch with them, 20-16, they lose in the 88 season, in 89, early that year. You look at the Rams, they're 1-3 in Super Bowls. The 99-2000 season, they beat the Titans as the St. Louis Rams, 20-16 in Super Bowl 34. You go back even further, 79 season, they lost to the Steelers. In the 01 season, they lose to Brady and the Patriots as the St. Louis Rams, 20-17, the 01-02 season. And then, of course, we know Super Bowl 53, 13-3, right? Let me find here we go. Los Angeles Rams, 13-3, 20-17. This is a losing team column. 31-19, they lost to the Steelers. And then I guess the winning team, if I got all this right here, the St. Louis Rams here. So they have not won it as the LA Rams. And they started as the LA Rams anyway. Doesn't matter, like, oh, the LA Rams, they finally won a Super Bowl after they lost it to Brady a few years ago or what. No one's going to care. It's still always been the Rams franchise. They just relocated and then they moved back to LA. That's it. Overall, who needs this more, right? Seriously. And we'll talk about that later. I got some stuff to talk about Joe Burrow and then Matt Stafford. Overall, though, I will say, based on history, I think Cincinnati needs it. We know, here's the thing, and this is not me fixing to say that they're going I don't think the Bengals lose this and then I fall off. I do think that maybe the Bengals could, with Coach Zach Taylor and Burrow and Chase, Uzomah, the tight end, all these guys, I think that they could be year-round contenders. They could even, think about it like this. It is kind of set up, is it not? I don't think the Ravens have fallen off. It's just they can't get further, right? Big Ben just retired with the Steelers. And the Browns, what the hell happened to Mayfield? The Bengals are set up in a good position to take advantage of it, not knowing what the other teams in their division are going to do. They could be set up to be the kings of the AFC North going forward, if you think about it. You win your division, you make the playoffs, you play a team, you win that game, you advance to the next round. Could we see this more often for them? It's a good possibility. We will see. But based on history, I think Cincinnati needs it. Rams have won a Super Bowl in history, right? And like I said, it's a good possibility that they could get back to the Super Bowl, win their division, make the playoffs on a more regular basis if they can figure things out. But let's say if they don't. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance, as Eminem says, which I can't wait for the halftime show, by the way. It's going to be awesome. You only get one shot at this. Do not blow this. Don't throw it away in the gutter. Take the opportunity that's in front of you. Take a chance. Take a risk. Go for it. Go all out. You got the weapons on offense. They have been down, dead, and buried in the gutter forever. Not really, because obviously they've, made it back in the 80s, as we know. They're still 0-2. They've never won one in history. They have a chance to make something on Sunday night, tomorrow night. This is going to be, oh my God, I'm excited. I will not be live for the game, by the way. The plan is I will, I guess my mom's in town or whatever, and I'm going to go see her, and we're going to watch the game together. Little mother-son bonding time. Love you, Mom. Uh, but I won't be live for the game. I'm just going to hang out with family and friends and all that good stuff. But you better know. I mean, I might pull my phone out and maybe do something at halftime, just be like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm excited for this game. I think it's best not to stream it anyway, because you think about it, man, you just want to watch the game. You just want to just sit back and watch it. Forget about streaming it. It would be so cool if nobody is live for this game. We can all turn off our devices, sit our butts down on the couch, and watch this game. Right? It would just be amazing. No technology. Just watch your TV, watch the game, and then talk about it. It'd be like, okay, I didn't see any tweets. I don't know how anybody really feels about this. What do you think? Okay. But anyway, getting back to the point, who needs this win more? I think, technically speaking, I think the Bengals need it. I really do. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a score prediction. I said in my preview video 27-23 Rams, and there's a lot of great offense, but at the same time, also, what people are not talking about how good the Bengals defense has been. It hasn't been the best. It hasn't been, I mean, it's been pretty flawless at times. They got some good weapons there. They really do, I think. But historically, I would say maybe the Bengals need this. They could get back, right? And we'll keep talking about it more and more. And I got a couple other topics that I want to address or talk about. I could go ahead and drop the link and let you guys on, but let's have fun. Let's hang out. Band of brothers. Let's get on here. Let's talk about the game. Want to hear from you guys. I love y'all. I want to get you on. But again, you look at this history and everything, man. You just got to ask yourself a very important question: who needs it more? And again, I say the Bengals need it more, and I think they know that. I just think because of their offense, I just think that duo with Chase and Burrow, and even a tight end like Uzma. I don't even know his first name. Didn't he go to Auburn? Was it CJ Uzma or something? Um, he's been pretty good for him. But again, I got a couple different topics that I want to talk with you guys about and really just bring up and what I think is going to happen. But overall, I would say the Bengals they probably need this more. And we welcome
going on, Ballard?
What's up, buddy?
Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty here. Let's analyze this game in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah. So you said Bengals won, right?
I got 27-23. I don't think we're going to see as much offense as we think. And I really think even for the Bengals, man, I really think no one's talking about their defense.
27-23 is a decent amount of offense. I get what you're saying, but that's
but I don't know. I mean, you look at the weapons that they got, you would think it's in the 30s, wouldn't you?
Actually, no.
In a way.
Looking at the Aaron Donald, Von Miller, Jalen Ramsey, and all the defensive stars in this game, Hickerson on the edge for the Bengals, and Bengals got a good defensive backcourt.
And let me give you this. Let me give you this one real quick. I'm just going to go ahead and say this, but I want to hear from you. Who do you think wins this game, and who ends up being MVP?
Whoever they're going to give it to a quarterback, obviously, because that's just what's going to happen.
Well, I got the Bengals winning, dude. I would expect Jamar Chase to have a big game.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. They'll give it to a quarterback.
Of course they will. Of course they will.
So that's it's almost like the Super Bowl MVP is like a popular vote.
Right.
It's not really the Super Bowl MVP in my opinion, so a quarterback will win it.
Now, you're a Georgia fan. Now,
yes.
I know you're like 16, 17, you're not like a really young kid, but you've watched football, especially being a Georgia fan. for quite some time. But some topics I wanted to bring up. This first topic, I got to ask you. I understand he got screwed with the Lions. Everybody does. It's a cursed franchise. It's like the Tennessee Vols or Vandy or whatever team you want to take from college football of the NFL. But would you say, being in this position, I think the Rams could get back and get back. But do you think the time is now? Like, can Matt Stafford wait another moment personally for a Super Bowl? Is this his shot? Is this where it happens?
I don't think this is his one shot, but I think this is his best shot.
Right.
Aaron Donald and Von Miller are getting really old. Those players are regressing by the minute.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have many draft picks. Your cap room is, I mean, what is their cap room? All the
I don't know, but it's not.
You're losing your best lineman, Andrew Whitworth. He's going to retire soon. That's not even a debate.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just like this is his best shot.
Right.
And the Rams have done this
what
before.
I'm saying. I'm not saying that they can't get back, but I mean, if you know this is your best opportunity, don't sleep on it, man. Take the chance because obviously, I mean, the Rams were there a few years ago. They lost by 10, 13-3, and a big problem was the O-line, and they had Jared Goff. I'm just going to say, I don't think Jared Goff's a good quarterback. He got stuck with the Lions because of the Stafford trade.
Just shows how good of a coach Sean McVay is. Get him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And how good Todd Gurley was.
Wasn't he already – what year was he drafted?
2016.
Michelle?
No, Jared Goff.
I thought you brought up Sony Michelle. I was fixing to say
I talked
if he was
about Todd Gurley before his knee injury,
yeah.
which unfortunately he got his knee injury right before the Super Bowl or whatever. He carried the Rams.
Miller says MVP is Joe Burrow. If the Bengals win, I'm going to say Joe Burrow. Well, I mean, I know I said Chase, but I wouldn't. It's kind of a coin flip. I just kind of made a bold claim that I think Chase could have a good game as a receiver.
But the thing is that the Rams have done this before. We've seen them go around free agency, make a bunch of trades like this before. We saw it in 2018, the year they made the Super Bowl. They got Brandon Cooks, Aqib Talib, Ndamukong Suh. Who else they get? Oh, yeah, Chris Harris.
They had the players, basically.
They got something.
The only thing I would say, though, is that
they didn't have a
quarterback. Not that the offense was missing, but
quarterback.
I think the leadership was missing. That's why.
Well, just say it's the quarterback.
Right.
They didn't have one.
Can Matthew Stafford, what's his he'll be back next year.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he might even if they lose, the Rams could still get back. But let's say if they don't, because you got to think, man, they're in a division with the Niners and the Cardinals. We don't know if those teams are going to rise. What?
I know the Cardinals have their drama, but the Niners are on the rise. If they can get a quarterback.
So, I mean, so let's take that into account real quick. Knowing where you play in football, your division, and all these different teams up and coming that are probably going to draft pretty well. I mean, Tampa Bay is obviously going to take a step back with Tom Brady gone, but you'll have I mean, the division they're in. Yeah. I can think
Seahawks, Cardinals.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen with the Cardinals, but for right now they're a good team. And then
and I would still say going forward, I would like to say that the Rams would be the favorite, and I wouldn't blame anybody, but you just never know. That's why I'm saying if any time you take a chance, which Matt Stafford's not going away, but just in case, take a chance now and go out and win this game tomorrow night.
Yes.
Whether you're the cause of it or not, you're still going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, even if you only win it because of defense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
How many games? I mean, is it fair to say, even for Tom Brady, he didn't win all of those Super Bowls just by him being Tom Brady? Defense had a pick or two in some of the early ones, I think, where the defense won
the first 3 Super Bowls were because of the defense.
Right.
And then his later Super Bowls were because of him, a lot of it. But the first couple of Super Bowls was his defense. Then he had his breakout 2007 season where he choked and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, man, I think for Matthew Stafford, I mean, I'm sure he's got a bright future ahead, and he's probably not falling off or going anywhere. But there's so much going forward with the other teams of the division, and you just never know. I mean, I think he's in a good position right now. He's in a Super Bowl. He's never been in it because he was with the Lions, and he was just, he was with the Lions. What do you want me to say?
Yeah.
He's got to take this chance now. Like Joe Burrow and the Bengals could get back and back and keep growing and growing, but Matthew Stafford and the same could be said for Stafford and the Rams. But I just think like him being drafted in what was it, 08 or 09? I mean, he's been in the league too long. He was so good at Georgia. He brings it to the league and he goes to the team, worst franchise in all of football. I mean, can you blame his career really on him? I mean,
Yeah. Well, that being said, I think Rams will win 34-13 in a blowout.
oh, okay. Now I had
And I can tell you why.
27-3 in favor of the Bengals, but go ahead.
Well, they're favoring the Bengals.
Well, I'm not like the Rams are the favorite. I just think that the Bengals end up winning.
Okay, well that's fair, but I think the Rams will win because the difference of their front seven versus the Bengals offensive line, that's the mismatch of the century. I mean,
Yeah,
like, okay, if the Bengals can get the ball out, that'll be a start, but they're not going to be able to throw deep very much. And even if you want to get it to Jamar Chase, you have Jalen Ramsey on him. So it's like, what can you do? The best thing the Bengals can do is have a consistent run game. If they can do that, then they're in this game. If they can't run
right.
the ball, zero chance of winning. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely, man, for
Mixon
sure.
needs to have
Got
a
you there.
100-yard. Mixon needs to have a 100-yard game at least, maybe more.
Yeah,
Or
but
at
we'll
least
see. I
close to
mean,
100.
yeah, there's a lot of factors that go in for all these players on both teams. I mean, what you can agree on for both sides is they have worked their tails off to get here. They have a lot of great talent. And again, overall, I mean, talking about Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's not even just worked this year. I mean, we're talking like he even worked hard with the Lions, and I mean, I don't
He's
think
always
he's a
worked hard.
draft bust, especially after what I've seen this year. But again, I think he really does need this one. I mean, Joe Burrow is in his second year in the league. You got Stafford, who's in like what's he in, like his 13th or 14th season, something like that. So, I mean, if you ask me, I think the time is now just to go ahead and take the Lombardi Trophy home. And even if you miss it, you could make it back in a year or two, but don't waste an opportunity is all I got to say.
Well, yeah, and the Rams' run defense is one of the best in the NFL as well, especially through the postseason. So
Oh, for sure.
but I'd rather try to run against the Rams than try to throw on them with your offensive line being horrible and Jalen Ramsey covering your best receiver. That's not a very good situation.
Yeah. That kind of brings me to my next topic. We talked about the Rams and if they need it, but let me ask you this: how do we know? How do we know if this is not just one of those Cinderella one-time dream seasons for Burrow and the Bengals? Like, how do we know they're not gonna have this magical moment, win or lose the Super Bowl, and then next year they don't make it? Not necessarily back, but let's say they just kind of fall off or
Because their team is
digress. How do
developed.
we know it's not a one-time thing?
Their team is developed.
Okay.
That
And
the year.
look
I
again.
mean,
I
they've
agree.
had young players for years now.
These are just talking points, really. I mean, I've kind of come up with some ideas for tonight's show, but I don't think it's a one-time thing. But I mean, LSU was also a one-time thing, but then again, they lost those players, so you got to think the Bengals aren't losing the players after
Oh
this
yeah, but
year,
that's
and they're
not how
not going
the
to fire
NFL
their
works.
coach.
That's not how the NFL works. NFL is much
Right.
different from that.
Of course, it is.
LSU just decided to dip in the hot tub and jump in the pool. But the Bengals will stay in the hot tub for years to come.
Yeah.
And by my notes,
Absolutely.
LSU is
I
still
think
in the
so
poll.
too. It's just like, and again, I don't think it's a one-time dream season. Now, this is a dream season, kind of out of nowhere, but if this is truly who they are and really what they want to be and develop their program as, or franchise, I should say, talking about NFL, this is a dream season, but a one-time dream season is different. Like
A dream season,
they could lose this game, and they could even lose it in a blowout.
20.
But let's say next year, they let's say they go into the draft, they make the right moves, trading, free agency, whatever they got to do to fix it up, get the issues in check, and they move forward into 22-23 season. That could be their moment.
Keep in mind they have $55 million in cap.
That's a lot.
Especially for a team that made the Super Bowl. Now,
For
you have to
sure.
consider you can't go crazy with it because in a couple of years, Burrow's going to ask for a raise. Jamar Chase is going to ask for a raise. T. Higgins. So you got to be careful of that money, but you still have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to keep in mind Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase are on rookie contracts. That's not going to be the case in a couple of years. So, but dream seasons, just because you have a dream season doesn't mean that you're going to fall off the next year. That's not what a dream season is. Dream season is where this is the first time that you've really been at this level in a long time, or you've overcome what you couldn't overcome. The Bengals win a playoff game,
They haven't even made one in, I guess, decades, a couple decades, maybe 15 years. I mean, it's been this is already a dream season.
2017
But
Georgia
what
was
I'm
a dream
saying
season.
is, right. Go ahead.
2017 Georgia was a dream season. We knew they were going to be back, but that was their first
Yeah.
natty game in 35 years,
At the
they
time,
played
yeah.
Penn State. So that was a dream season. 2019 LSU was a dream season. 2009 Alabama was a dream season. That was the first time they, finally got back on track. I mean, so.
Yeah, about time. It took us 17
know.
years. All the Mike Dubos and Shula era just kind of, ugh.
But
Man.
2020, 2020, or what was I going to say? 2021 Georgia, is that technically a dream season? I guess it is because we won the Natty.
Like the first time in 41 years, by the way.
Yeah, so that's a dream season. But like 2020 Bama, that's not a dream season. That's Bama's won a Natty before.
Now, okay, it's not a dream season, but truly you got to understand about that 2020 team, the connection and the togetherness in the pandemic. It was still very special, but I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah, 2018 Clemson, that's not a dream season. They've done that before.
Now 2016 when they won with Deshaun
okay, that's
Watson,
a dream
that
season.
Was because also let's not get ahead of ourselves. You got to also remember who won. Or really, I mean, Bama won it, but remember, Bama beat Clemson the year before. And a lot of people said they're going to come back with all this talent, but I don't know if they'll make it back to the title. And they did. And not only that, they avenge Alabama. They face them again. The same players came back to win that title.
It still confuses me how that 2016 Alabama team didn't win the Natty. I mean, that team was
well,
much better.
Okay, here's the thing. It literally came down to an onside kick, and there was a PI call before the touchdown pass.
I get it, but
if we don't have that PI call and if it's just an incompletion and it's not pass interference, guarantee you we could come out on top.
That 2016.
And you got to think, Jalen Hurts didn't lose the game. I mean, Jalen ran the touchdown and left the field with the lead.
Yeah, but in my opinion, the 2016 Alabama team was much better than the 2015 Alabama team, and I think it was better than a lot of other championship teams.
For sure.
Yeah,
it
was better than a lot of Alabama championship teams, in my opinion. They came up short. But that being said, I also believe that in 2015 that Clemson was the better team that year, because in my opinion they looked like the better team. But I think I think it was kind of flip-flopped, but either way, they both won a Natty. You know,
That's fair.
you know.
Did you give an ultimate score prediction on this one? Did I ask for your score prediction yet? Because I
For
know
Super Bowl,
obviously I gave mine, but yeah,
well, I said it a little bit ago. It was 34-13 Rams.
34-13. Okay. It's a big
You
time
know,
blowout right there.
yeah, and I think the Bengals defense, yes, their defense is good, but I don't think it's good enough to stop Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham and Stafford. I don't think it's
Yeah,
that good.
I mean, I've noticed it's more so, and I kind of said this. I think that we're not giving the defense enough credit, but I will admit it's really the D line, and I'm not too sold on their secondary, especially covering speedy receivers like you mentioned, like Cooper Cup. I mean, if that guy's got some good speed on him, he could get open in space and help Matthew Stafford just make big plays downfield. And if you're going to give that up all night, that's where the Rams would have the advantage to maybe take it home and win. So,
And even if the Bengals provide pass rush, here's a stat. Stafford this season is the best against the blitz. So even if you
yeah,
get pressure on him, he's unaffected. Now, where he is
it's
affected,
incredible too. I mean, I think a big problem in the 13-3 game. First off, you had Jared Goff as a quarterback, but also the Rams' offensive line the past couple years, or like leading up to Super Bowl 53 or that season, it just was so. I guess you could say depleted, but they've worked on
and
that.
Todd Gurley
They've
had,
worked.
not making excuses, but Gurley had arthritis. He wasn't the same anymore.
Yeah.
So he couldn't carry them.
Which, by the way, let me pull this back up here. So let's look at the spread and everything. But also, I'm looking at the injury list. C.J. Uzma, the tight end for the Bengals, is at least questionable as of yesterday.
He needs
That
to
means
he
he
needs to
could
play.
play. What
That, in my opinion, they need him because he's that big body where
I
they
was
can
going to
get
say that he's a
he can get
good.
away from where you can
Yeah,
throw the ball away from Jalen Ramsey's side. You can get him on a mismatch with a
right.
safety
I think he's a good
linebacker,
blocking tight. I think he's a good blocking tight end in ways too, if you
and
use him right.
yeah, you can help out. That's where I think he's most important. Run blocking for Joe Mixon, being that extra guy to come in there and block that. You know, the Bengals need a run game.
And also, I'll say this: Cooper Cup's pretty good, but I would say losing guys like Tyler Higbee and Robert Woods, and then you also got a guy on the O line that are, but those three offensive factors that have helped them this year are injured reserve. They're not even questionable. If you're on
Now,
the IR, you're not playing this game. That's a huge
here's
blow.
where here's where the Bengals need to make something happen. In my opinion, they need to run disguise coverages and tricky. Well, even though Stafford's great against the blitz, maybe a tricky blitz
You
or
do
two.
like any
Just,
weird
but
end around
mostly,
type stuff,
mostly they
or
need to disguise some coverages, make tricky coverages. Because Stafford is the most picks in the NFL this year, so if they can force some of that, that would be good for them. So they need to, in my opinion, most in uh, the linebacker and DB area, they need to run some tricky plays in there. I mean,
yeah.
what do you think?
Oh, I think so. I mean, I think
Disguise coverages?
I think
Because that
Burrow's been one of those guys that, like, I'm trying to think of what it was. Which game was it? I saw a play where he was playing. I can't remember who he was playing, but he literally got away from two guys on him. He shook them
was
off.
it
And
at
something
LSU?
happened.
Was that LSU?
No, I'm talking about like since he's been with the Bengals. I think it was this season. He had that play. Hold on.
Was versus the Titans? I know. I thought you were talking about that play versus
Hold
Georgia.
on. I'll find it. Oh, yes. It was the division round against the Chiefs. Or no, I'm sorry, the AFC title, not the division. Here's the
Oh,
play.
I've
I'm going
seen
to show
that
it.
play.
Yes, dude. If he does this at any point, if he does this like to begin the drive or the game or something, if I see this at any point, it is over. I don't care what the score is. This brother might bring them back. Watch. This is the play right here, folks. Hold on. Here we go.
If Nick Bolton had Anquan Bolton's hand, that would have been an interception.
Watch this here. Look at this. Third and seven. Where's the O-line? Look at this.
Still didn't get him. Oh, my goodness.
If he does that to the Rams, it's all over, son. For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Well. Okay, well. We'll have to do that a lot then, because Aaron Donald, Von Miller, they're going to be having their dinner in that game.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man.
Another thing the Bengals are going to do is not that they need to get him off of Jalen Ramsey, but it would be nice if they can get Jamar Chase, motion him, and maybe get him on different DBs instead of having Jalen Ramsey on him the whole time or disguising him. Not that he can't go against Ramsey, but I mean, it kind of takes him out the game, but limits him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and the screen pass.
There's just so much that goes into this. And again, I talked about it earlier. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say that Jamar Chase, the screen pass that he's been amazing at all season. Jalen Ramsey might be the best tackling corner in the NFL. So that's probably a play that's most likely not going to work. So
yeah, I really think that I think the key matchup. I mean, people might want to say the Rams defense versus maybe the O-line of the Bengals, which that'll be good to watch too. And if they can get pressure on Burrow and if he can handle it, but I think the big time matchup is Ramsey on Chase.
And I think Chase absolutely has to win that matchup for the Bengals to win. I don't see how he can be shut down and the Bengals still win. That's not happening, in my opinion.
Do you expect him to do that? Like, do you think
he
will?
To be honest, no. Okay, let me rephrase. He doesn't have to win the matchup. He can't be shut down. He can't be taken out the game. That can't happen. He needs to at least have 40 to 50 yards. He can't have 10 yards. The Bengals are going to lose if he gets shut down. Maybe he doesn't have to necessarily win it, but he definitely can't get shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Ramsey, as great as he is, it's not you go against Ramsey, you get shut down. That doesn't exist. There's been receivers who have had success against Ramsey. So,
yeah. I mean,
but Chase, if he can use his speed against Ramsey, he's faster than Ramsey. So if he's able now, Ramsey's very good in the press jam. So, but if he gets past that, or maybe he can go in motion like Devontae Smith did at Alabama. You know how he'd go around the edge and start going in motion and just get a running start on Ramsey?
Oh, yes.
That's what the Bengals need to do with Jamar Chase. That's what the Bengals need to do with Jamar Chase, because Jamar Chase is faster than Ramsey, but Ramsey's better in pretty much every other area, for the most part at least. Because in the press jam, Ramsey is that good. If you can get Chase on a running start, that'll cause some trouble for Ramsey.
I just one thing I did think about, I want to ask you about this player, but when you look at Cincinnati real quick, you look at their running back, Joe Mixon. I think he's had a great run in the playoffs.
He needs to have the big game.
He does, but would you say that is he an underrated type of X factor player for him? What do you see?
I think he's underrated. I think he's the most important player in this game.
Yeah. I'd like some more detail on that because, we keep talking about the receivers for both teams, but now you're saying, and I'm not going to criticize or anything, but I am curious, now you're saying Joe Mixon, a running back, is the most important player for Cincinnati in this game. Continue on.
That and the run blocking. And the reason why is because if the Bengals can't run the ball, then the Rams know what they're going to do. And if the Rams know what you're doing, they're going to get pressure on you. But if you can keep it balanced and keep the Rams pass rush on us, which the Rams are going to get pass rush. The Bengals offensive line is just that bad. But to maybe contain the Rams pass rush, you got to be balanced and have the Rams have the idea of, okay, they might run the ball, so we can't go rushing at the quarterback automatically. We got to stay honest here. But if you can't run the ball, the same thing that Georgia did to Clemson is going to happen. They're just going to commit to the quarterback every time, and they're just going to pressure him every single time.
Yeah.
You know? If the Rams front seven knows what you're doing, the Bengals are done. You got to keep them honest, and you got to run the ball. So mixing in the run blocking in this game is most important.
Absolutely, man. And like you said, I mean, but here's the thing, and this is why I think maybe we're not talking about them, but I noticed, I remember watching the Vikings game back in November or October, whenever they played them. There's a certain play, I think it was like a 1st and 10 in the second quarter, where Burrow gets it to him in the flat, and this man just kind of drives through some defenders. I mean, he's a hard-hitting back. And I think that we're not treating this guy like Derrick Henry. I'm not going to sit here and say he's like Derrick Henry, but I think he's one of the more underappreciated, undervalued players going into this game.
Yes.
But only because of all the receiving weapons. And I don't blame him. I don't, because I understand Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, I didn't think to mention for the Bengals.
Wait a minute.
T. Higgins, and like it's all, even for the Rams, I would say it is all it's all the offensive weapons. It's not so much the running back. But Joe Mixon, I think, could have a big time game if they get it taken care of and they go out there and they perform well and they give him the ball. I think Joe Mixon, I'm not saying he could be MVP, although dreams come true in Super Bowls, but dude, it could be a big night tomorrow for Mixon.
I've changed my mind on the Mixon thing. Jamar Chase is the most important player in this game, but Mixon is still up there.
Yeah.
Hey, Ballard, how you doing, man?
While saying that,
doing good.
Oh, what's up, Michael Hogue?
Hey, about time you get your head out of your backside, Jacob. What the heck were you thinking, man?
What?
Saying that and stuff like that. Yeah, Mixon's going to get his and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be more of a defensive game tomorrow night.
Whoa, what was the comment about me, though? What did I say?
You said Mixon wasn't going to be able to do anything. Dude.
I did not say Mixon wouldn't be able to do anything. When I say that.
Yeah, it's going to be Chase and stuff most likely tomorrow. Mixon will have his stuff. But I think it's going to be more defensive.
I'm confused. What did I say wrong that you're complaining about it?
You said when I first caught it, when I first caught it in the stream, went to the link, you were saying something about Mixon or something. I caught the tail end of it. I couldn't catch the whole thing because I was on my way to get into the stream.
No, all I said is that Mixon's one of the more important players in this game.
Okay. I thought you were saying somebody he was going to be the one that making the difference or something tomorrow.
He does make a difference.
What I do like about Mixon, though, his acceleration when he has the ball, and he's a hard-hitting back too, man. He's trucked a few guys this year. He's a hard-hitting. He's a bad dude.
Most important players in this game for the Bengals are Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, C.J. Umzami, and in my opinion, Trey Hickerson on the defense. He's got to get some sacks.
There you go. I like that.
But Mixon, he does make a difference in this game because if the Bengals, and the run blocking does too, because if the Bengals can't run the ball, Rams know what you're going to do. But Jamar Chase, in my opinion, is the most important single player in this game because if he gets shut down, that takes the Bengals out the game because that's just like,
Well, okay, let me ask you this, Jacob. Has he really done anything in the playoffs so far?
Jamar Chase?
No, Mixon.
I'd say so. Yeah, Mixon. I mean, he hasn't been amazing, but he hasn't. But I think he's made a difference.
Yeah, but see, you're also forgetting about T. Higgins too.
Oh yeah, T. Higgins. Well, yeah.
Because you shut Jamar down, T's gonna be wide open.
That's true.
Basically, I can confirm, in my opinion, that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is what like Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison used to be, but like when the Colts.
I wouldn't put it on that level.
What do you mean you wouldn't put him on that level? Are you crazy?
No, Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne were 2 Hall of Fame wide
Y'all are
receivers.
crazy.
Well, yeah, I know. And eventually, Higgins. I'm just saying, one complements the other. You double team Marvin, Reggie's gonna be wide open. You double team Reggie, Marvin's gonna be all wide open. That's what I'm saying. I think both of them will win.
Okay, I see what
I'm
you're saying
keeping an
now.
eye, by the way.
I see what you're saying, Michael. You make great points, man. But the thing is that the Rams don't have to double team Jamar Chase. They can put the best cornerback in the NFL on him, Jalen Ramsey.
Hey, Ramsey's been burned before.
Oh, he has. I'm not, but he's still like that. Ramsey's so good. Where really, if you play the Rams, there's not a receiver that, in my opinion, in the NFL right now that needs to be double teamed with Ramsey. Ramsey could do it by himself on anybody.
Yeah, but I mean,
At
if
least
he gets burned early, then what are you gonna do?
Huh?
If he gets burned early for a couple of big plays, then what are you gonna do?
Oh, well, at that point, you're going to have to make some adjustments. Going into a game, I don't see why Ramsey needs help on a double team. But in the middle of the game, you might have to make adjustments.
Yeah. But my thing is that I told in Peachtree my second when I called it, I think it's all going to come down to the leg of Evan McPherson again.
Evan McPherson, what happened?
It's going to come down to his leg where he wins the game for Cincinnati.
Hey, you never know.
So you're calling a McPherson walk-off Super Bowl winning field goal?
Yes. 20
You never know. That's
I would
possible.
love that. I'd love that because he's done it already. Like what? Twice?
3 times, didn't it? No. The first time
twice.
It was twice because it was the interception that won.
But Michael, can I ask you this?
Yes, had some walk-off.
What do you think? Do you think that's going to happen?
I really do.
Okay, so Bengals will win on a
some way. Stafford is going to drive him down for the late game-winning touchdown, and something weird's going to happen, and he gets a deflection and gets an interception late.
How funny would it be, real quick? And I know I'm an Alabama fan saying this, but wouldn't it be hilarious? And it don't have to be the same score, but let's say if a team's down in this game and they throw a pick six that ultimately seals it, just like the national title. How funny would that be?
That would be
great. That happened in both the CFP and the Super Bowl in the same.
That
would be hilarious.
And that would be awesome.
Stafford has the most interceptions in the NFL this year, so it's possible.
All right, I gotta ask you this: who do you think is more likely to throw for 300 plus tomorrow?
300 plus.
Oh, Burrow for sure. I'm going Burrow.
I think both of them get
a bold shot.
I think Stafford will definitely throw for 300. I think Burrow will if he gets the protection he needs. But if he gets sacked 9 times, like versus the Titans, he's not getting 300.
That's another thing. I forgot it was 9 times in that game.
Yeah, but look at him. Yeah,
he can't do that.
He got crunched 9 times that game. But did it phase him? No.
No. I'm saying if he wants to throw for 300 yards.
What the hell was that?
What?
I'm sorry. I'm also watching this USC UCLA game.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm watching the same game you are.
What are you thinking about that so far?
I think.
I just kind of saw that little whatever the hell pass that was out of bounds there.
Yeah, I saw that as well, but I think both teams are overrated in my opinion. But looking at the game, I thought UCLA was going to win pretty big because I thought USC was the most overrated team. And
Hey, Jacob, I hear you call a lot of teams overrated. I swear.
Why is that for, Jacob?
Yeah, you call a lot of teams overrated.
That is true. I'm gonna call you out right there, buddy. I'm a full screen. You are gonna put you on the spot. Why is everyone overrated?
Yeah.
Well, I don't call everyone overrated. I just
Iowa State.
Well, that was okay. That was one team.
Job. Mr. Jack Trice.
Okay, wait. I'm by myself now.
Yeah, you're full screen.
You're on the spot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll explain myself.
The floor is
Iowa
yours.
State was in preseason in football. I didn't think they'd be as good of a team, and I was right. Okay, Iowa State wasn't as good of a team. Okay, but maybe I shouldn't be calling all the teams overrated. But I think UCLA and USC are especially overrated. But I think there's some teams that are definitely not overrated. I don't think Gonzaga is overrated. Auburn, well, I don't think they're overrated. I don't think Purdue's overrated. Duke, Kansas, don't see them overrated. Arizona, Houston, don't see them overrated. Kentucky, I think they're a little bit overrated, but I do throw the word around a lot and maybe a little bit too much. But sometimes I don't actually think those teams are overrated. I say they're overrated compared to championship expectations, if you will.
What? Oh, Jacob.
Does that make sense?
Oh man, come on.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. I
All right, I
just
gotta ask you this, Jacob. Who do you think is a better team this year, UCLA or USC?
Oh, UCLA by far. I'm talking about basketball, by the way.
Yeah, I know you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
USC is that they have that one elite player, Evan Mobley, but
Yeah.
UCLA, in my opinion, is a better all around team, and they're the better team this year.
I will say this. So what's on you guys' spread for tomorrow?
Spread.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
What
Spread is like
In
4.5.
other words, what are you
Yeah,
going
what's
to
the spread?
Jacob. In other words, spread doesn't mean what the point spread is. Spread is like what you guys gonna be eating during the game.
what I'm
Oh.
going to be eating.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys going?
I don't know.
Whatever
Whatever my mom's got, I guess.
I don't know. I'll
she's
be
visiting.
eating
in
something
town,
good
so.
though.
Oh, that's
Are
nice.
you guys are you guys having people over or going to a party tomorrow?
I'll have people over.
Nah, I'll just be with my parents.
What about you, Ballard?
My grandparents are going to a party. I was gonna go, but I guess my mom's up and visiting, and she asked if I'd watch the game with her. So
So you're gonna have to pick up some stuff, huh?
I guess whatever she has, I don't know.
You're not. Wait a minute, Ballard. You're not contributing.
I mean,
Come on, Ballard.
I'll bring the chips. How about that?
Nah.
Bringing the chips and the dip.
Well, I'll eat something good. I know. But going off what y'all said earlier, I agree. I use the word overrated way too much. A lot of times in college basketball,
You know that word is very overrated. But go on.
Well, I'm just saying, like I compare a lot of teams in college basketball to championship expectations because that's where a lot of teams get talked about in March Madness. So that's why I call a lot of teams overrated.
All right.
Yeah.
5 teams right now, maybe the top 15, top 20 could cut down the nets at the end of March or April 4th. Go.
Wait, what'd you say?
I don't understand. What are you?
5 teams you think right now that's in the top 20 that has a legitimate chance of cutting down the nets in New Orleans on April 4th.
Oh,
So
Okay.
you're talking about on the floor?
Gonzaga,
Gonzaga.
Auburn.
Yep. Yeah, Auburn.
Purdue.
Kansas. And,
Kansas. Yeah. I was about to say-
we'll throw Duke in there.
Yeah, I think Duke could.
I think
possibly-
it's an automatic. Like really, the top 5, or I guess like 5 of the top 10 teams really have a legit shot. I think.
You know what I
you
think?
got your. Hey, Michael, look.
Yes, sir.
Your Purdue Boilermakers, man. I mean, they have a good shot, man.
Yeah. Here's my 5, and I'm going to include a dark horse: Auburn, Arizona, Kentucky, Purdue. Let's see, Arizona, Kentucky. What was it? Arizona, Auburn, Purdue, Kentucky, UCLA, and my dark horse is Providence.
Providence. Wow.
Providence. The Friars.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, look, you know what's so funny, though, is like March Madness is not college football. I still believe like any given Saturday or Sunday, whatever, in football, but especially in March Madness, I mean, we see stuff like that happen all the time. I mean, so to sit there and say like, oh, you're crazy if you think that team or whatever would be insane. Michael, I'm going to hold you to that if a team like Providence runs the table.
You know, I'm
I
as
don't
a
think
Duke fan.
anything you said is necessarily crazy.
As a
No,
Duke
it's not.
fan,
It's March
I
Madness.
disagree with some of it, but I'm gonna disagree with everyone's Final Four
Okay.
in one way at least, unless they have the same 4 teams I do. But it doesn't mean that it's crazy or ridiculous. I just think that a different team will make it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, as a Duke fan, I gotta say I should have confidence in them, but I'm thinking we're probably gonna get knocked out in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I've changed my mind about Duke. I think that they're a better team than what I really considered them to be. Like a couple weeks ago. I think Duke's a really good team that just wants to get to the March Madness is playing lazy in the regular season.
Yeah, I'll tell you this though. Another team, I don't think they can get to the Elite Eight, but maybe it's Sweet 16's Rutgers.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay,
They
I
had
love
a
it.
huge
I
one
love it, bro.
today.
You know who's hot right now?
Who would that be?
Texas.
Yeah.
Even though they got smacked,
yeah,
they did get smacked by
Texas
Baylor by
is
20.
good.
Yeah. But Texas. And I think
Yeah.
Tennessee is on a hot streak as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee
now-
is.
yeah.
In my opinion, right now, Kentucky's probably the most dangerous team out there right now.
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. You know?
Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask about my team real quick, and I'm probably gonna regret it because of your answers. But where do you see is Alabama? Do you think they're a guarantee shot at least an NIT? And if so, how could they win it right then and there? And then let's say if they get a bid into the actual tournament. Gosh, how far do they make it? Because man, I don't know. I thought
Round
going into
two.
the season we had it, but
I think
they had a
here's
nice
what I
win
think
today.
about Alabama. Here's what I think.
Alabama had a good win today too.
they did. I'm proud of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I'm
Hey,
gonna
speaking
say,
of which, was that a buzzer beater, Ballard?
It was pretty close to. I don't think it was an exact buzzer beater, but I mean, it was still kind of.
I gotta ask you guys this because I don't know how the SEC works, but how many conference games does the SEC play before the tournament?
Don't we play 15 of them or something like that?
Yeah, that's got. I was like, that'd be like
Don't
12
You
we
or
play
something.
every
Is it 18,
team.
I think?
Don't we
Don't you
play
play
every
every
team
team
twice or something?
Something
No,
like that.
no, I mean, not every team because Georgia's
No,
not
you guys-
playing Alabama twice.
You guys play? No, it's an 18 conference game schedule.
Oh, and to answer your question, I guess it kind of is. It wasn't an exact buzzer beater, Michael, but it was about a little under 30 seconds. It was like 20 seconds left, and Noah Gurley hit it. So, I mean, how many seconds would y'all consider has to be minimum, to be a buzzer beater? Should it be I think if it's under, if it's 10 or under, 10 seconds or less.
Yeah,
I say under 3.
Buzzer beater. 3? Okay.
Yeah.
I think.
But no, I'm just looking at their remaining schedule for Alabama. You got Mississippi State Wednesday. You got go to Kentucky. You got Vanderbilt. You got South Carolina, Texas A&M, and LSU.
It's a tough stretch, but I think it's still manageable.
I'll say this about Alabama. Alabama is hyped up and motivated to play against the good teams. That's why they beat them, like Gonzaga, Baylor, play close with Auburn. That all that. Tennessee, they beat them. LSU. But when it comes to playing the teams that you're supposed to beat, they don't do it. And the reason why is because maybe it's something with Nate Oates. And honestly, it probably is his fault. He doesn't motivate the guys in the games that they're pretty much supposed to win, the games that they don't think they're going to lose. That's why they lost to Georgia, Missouri, and all that,
I'll say – go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think it's a Nate Oates problem. He doesn't motivate his guys in the game, in the non-big games. The games that it's Alabama's probably going to win. He doesn't motivate those guys in those games, and that's why they've dropped so many that they're not supposed to drop.
Right.
Hey Ballard, I gotta disagree with your statement about the buzzer beater. It said the the shot was in with 27 seconds left. That's not a buzzer beater.
No, that's not what he was asking, Will. What he was
What
asking,
I'm asking is how much time at minimum. I wasn't saying. I was just saying because sometimes they say it's a buzzer beater and they leave 4 seconds on the clock. At what time? Is it 10 seconds or less where it starts to become, if you make this, it's a buzzer beater? What are you talking about here?
I think 10 seconds
what's
or
the
less for the
minimum
most part.
It's 10 seconds or less to me is what it is. I don't know what you would think.
Okay.
10 seconds or less.
Yeah, to me that's
Well,
not
it
a
was
buzzer
still. I
beater.
mean, okay, it wasn't a buzzer beater, but it was still ultimately the game-winning shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
Like
was the
it
game.
helped, like right. But
Yeah,
there's a buzzer beater is a game winner, and then there's also not like. Well, let's say even if a team's losing and they beat the buzzer with a shot, it's still not going to win them the game. But for the most part, we see those and they end up being game winners. So I think for the most part, every buzzer beater is a game winner, but not every game winner is a buzzer beater. You know what I mean?
no, yeah.
Yep.
I want to respond to a comment by Michael Hogue. He was asking J-Dub and LW a question, but
What's
I
up,
want
D
to have an
digits?
answer in it
What's
because
Einhorn?
I think his question is very interesting. I think 11 losses is very dangerous for Alabama. I think it's
Yeah.
good enough to make the NIT. I don't think it's good enough to make the tournament straight up. I think,
Jacob,
but yeah,
how many times have you seen double-digit losses in the NCAA tournament?
I'm saying NIT.
No, you've seen teams with if they finish 20-11 in the regular season and maybe get to the semifinals of the SEC tournament, you're not going to keep Alabama out of the NCAA tournament.
Oh no! If they make a good run in
No.
the SEC tournament, but I'm saying
I'm saying this: if they go 10-8 in the SEC, which puts them in 20-11, how can you deny them? In one of those last 6 games, you beat the number 5 team in the country. Also,
okay. So where will they finish in the SEC tournament?
I say they lose in the semifinals or quarterfinals.
Semifinals.
Oh,
Okay. Semifinals. Okay, they're in.
Yeah,
see-
yeah. Semifinals would probably put him in.
Jacob,
Semifinals.
you're
And-
still sticking with Jacob's still rocking with Auburn Purdue, right? For the
No, Gonzaga, Purdue.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Gonzaga Purdue.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
taking Gonzaga Purdue. But I will say this though,
I
Jacob.
thought he kept saying Auburn and Purdue. My bad.
Nah. No, you've seen plenty of teams like 20-11 or 20-10 and stuff like that make the tournament before. I still think if they do that, though, they get to the 20 win or double-digit win in the conference, they're going to make the tournament.
All right. Well,
If they
here's the
do
thing,
good-
though. They're currently 6-6 in the SEC, so it's going to take a few more SEC wins.
Alabama,
6
and
games
another
left.
thing that's helping them is Alabama by far is the toughest schedule in the country. I mean, Auburn twice, Baylor, Gonzaga, they have the toughest schedule in the country.
If they can finish 4-2 in the last 6 games, I'll put them at 10-8 in the conference. That should be good enough. They should be good enough to get them in the tournament.
The
Because
SEC
they've had a
tournament
couple
is the
big
most
wins and stuff.
important. The SEC tournament, in my opinion, is the most important piece to Alabama's run at March Madness. You have to have that. If they don't
I
do
think
good in
it's
the
the
SEC
most
tournament,
important for
then
really anybody, unless you're a big time team like Kentucky. Because I mean, Kentucky doesn't have to win the SEC. Like we know Kentucky, they've been good enough that they could still make it, even if they. I think they just got to make at
well, of
least
course,
win one SEC game
they're the
or
fifth
something.
ranked team in the country, Ballard. Of course, they'll make it.
Right.
I mean
Yeah.
that, but Alabama, if they don't perform well in the SEC tournament, they'll get sent to the NIT, in my opinion. If they do well in the tournament, though, I think they're in. They're in. And even if you get sent to the NIT, that doesn't mean that your tournament chances are. Winner of the
Yeah.
NIT
I see
makes
6
March
teams
Madness.
from the SEC getting into the tournament.
What?
I see 6 teams from the SEC making the tournament.
Who are the other?
Go.
Who would be
I want to hear them.
who are the
Yes.
other
Auburn?
5 besides Alabama?
Auburn, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, LSU, and Alabama.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
that's
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah,
I like
that
I
seems
like
right.
it. So you said, so correct me if I'm wrong. You said Auburn, Kentucky, LSU, Tennessee, Alabama, and
Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay, yeah.
And Florida still has a chance, too.
Florida's a chance. I agree.
Yeah, I would think they do.
I like that. I think that's good.
Yeah.
But I know Georgia's not going to make it, so I'm not even
No,
going
we're not.
like that's not even up for debate.
Yeah. I don't know, and we're just gonna have to think about do we keep Tom
Arkansas is a
Crean
good
or
team,
what?
too. But LSU can be so much better than the way they're playing, in my opinion. They're not playing the way they should be.
I wonder what we're gonna do with Tom Crean.
I think we should keep him with the recruiting class he's bringing in. And I know he struggled in the past with developing talent. That's fine. But I say the recruiting class he's bringing in, And on top of that, his past success at Indiana, I say give him 1 more year.
Yeah, well, what I like about him is his energy. Like when he fires up the crowd, that's what I like about coaches.
But if he does bad next year, then I think we need to move on.
Yeah, we need to can him. We had more success with Mark Fox than we have had with Tom Green.
Yeah,
you know?
Mark Fox also left the Georgia program in a very bad position.
Yeah.
Like, a horrible position.
You guys shot, according to LW, you guys went 2 for 23 from 3-point land in a game you guys lost in. I'm trying to figure out which game that was. No, not Auburn.
Auburn, I've said this before, but Auburn's 3-point percentage is 10% less than the last 10. The lowest 3-point percentage a national champion has in the past 10 years is 39-point-something%. Auburn's is 29.6 or something. That's 10% less. So they won't win. They definitely have a shot. They're a contender, but that's why I don't think they'll win at all.
Yeah.
Trying to win a championship without shooting is basically trying to win a championship without a quarterback.
Right.
Which Georgia did. Georgia did, but I think winning with a quarterback is still.
Stop it.
Well, we're not
Yeah.
talking. We're not talking that.
Okay, we're not talking football anyways.
Yeah. Quit
It's
it.
rare occasion when that happens. But my point is, if Auburn wants to win a national championship, their defense has to be hellacious. They got to get inside the paint. Walker Kessler's got to play amazing. Jabari Smith, their only 3-point shooter, he's got to shoot well.
How about that big man on the Auburn who's like really
Walker Kessler, yeah.
Yeah,
Best. I don't know about y'all, but he's the best that I've seen. He's the best defensive player in the paint I've ever seen.
Yeah, he's good.
Best inside defender, at least in college basketball. And keep in mind, I've ever seen, which is not still.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what game it was. LW. I don't know.
LSU can be so much better than the way they're playing. I said that before, but it's just like.
Well, they got Georgia next, so we'll see how they are playing.
Oh.
Yeah. Are they still having no trouble with Mississippi State right now?
Mississippi State. Yeah, I think they're having a little bit of trouble, but they're pulling away. At least last time I was on the game, they were
3-game losing streak: Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU. Oh,
they beat Mississippi State though, barely.
It was Kentucky, Bama 3 for 30 from 3-point land, so it was worse than I said. Scored only 55 points.
Who?
Wow, Alabama against Kentucky.
Oh yeah. And the offense has been pretty consistent not consistent, but the offense has been the stronger piece in my opinion for Alabama.
Yeah.
The offense has been inconsistent though at times.
Yeah, but Michael, you got to have some confidence in your Boilermakers. They're doing pretty good.
Oh
yeah. Even though the other night they got smacked, but when he played 5 games in 8 days,
you're tired.
Yeah. And Michigan, you can tell Michigan was the same way today against Ohio State too.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
They need to change the scheduling up a bit.
The only thing I can say is this, that I think we all can agree, and I don't know, but do we really want someone to knock Gonzaga out?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we do.
I don't care if
I got nothing against Coach White. I got nothing against the Zags. I love them. I know they're great.
White. Who's Coach White?
Coach White. You talking about Mark Few?
Mark Few, not White. I'm sorry.
Coach White.
What the hell? Oh, Coach White.
Mark Few. I don't know where the hell I got White from, but I got nothing against the Zags. I got nothing against their coach. I love them. I know they got great players. But it was last year seeing them undefeated and ranked number 1 all year that I just was like, now where's the fun in that? And not only that, yes, they made the title, and congrats to Baylor. I'm so glad that they upset them. Although it would have been cool to see the first time in God knows how long an undefeated champion.
Oh, Ballard.
But I want a Cinderella team or I just want something different, you know?
Yeah.
Ballard, I'll say this. I was 4 years old the last time a team ran the table.
Yeah.
Indiana.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah.
Ballard, I gotta ask you this. When was the last time a mid-major won a national championship?
A who?
A mid-major.
Mid-major. I know Gonzaga just never won one before. Never.
No, they're 0-2 in national championships.
Yeah, it's surprising as it is.
I was wanting them to win it all last year, but the way Baylor came out firing from three, it wasn't going to happen. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, how you doing, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff?
I was 10 years old when I had to endure the hell of the 1976 Indiana season.
Shit.
I hated Robert Montgomery Knight. I hated Isaiah Thomas.
Do you hate Bob Knight?
Oh, yeah, Robert Montgomery Knight.
But Isaiah Thomas was down to 81.
Before I grew into the awareness of who and what Auburn is, the repository of all my hate, having grown up in Central Illinois and rooted for the Illini, was Indiana basketball. Absolutely hated them.
All right.
Still to this day do. I can't not. Indiana and Kansas, I can't stand them in basketball.
Okay.
Oh, then you began to hate Auburn.
Jeff, I gotta ask you this, and this is a serious question. I don't know if you have kids or not, but if you had a kid back in the 80s or early 90s and Bob Knight came to see him and offered him a scholarship, would you tell him don't take the scholarship?
In no way, shape, or form would I allow my son to play for Bob Knight.
Would you even let Bob Knight into the door?
Probably not.
Be like, get out of here, you son of a.
I'd make it clear that we're not entertaining any offers from Indiana.
Get out of here, you.
I think the guy is as a human being. Never mind what he does as a basketball coach. As a human being, I think he's an all-time piece of shit.
Oh yeah,
get out of here, you.
I wouldn't want my son anywhere near him.
That clown threw a chair across the basketball court, and he's supposed to be making my kid a better person.
Hey, I was at that game, by the way, too, Ballard.
Yeah,
it's almost like a Woody Hayes clone at Ohio State. Yes, he was a great coach, but a horrible person. I don't want my son.
You hear Krzyzewski's players.
Oh yeah.
You hear John Wooden at UCLA in the 60s and 70s. You hear his players. You hear, although I don't like him, you hear Jimmy Boeheim, the crybaby at Syracuse. You hear his players. Dean Smith when he was at North Carolina. Those guys, their players come back to campus. They hang around. They glowingly talk about their coach, like they worship their coach. No former players under Bob Knight ever talk about him like that, ever.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Michael, did you say you were at the game where Bob Knight threw that chair?
Yes, I was.
Wow.
You
and you know what
tell us
the
the experience.
The 23rd of this month, it'll be 37 years. February 23rd, 1985. Hey, Jeff, I got to ask you this. What was your take about Gene Katie or Judd Heathcote?
I didn't care for Judd Heathcote. Gene Katie was one of those guys that he looked like he was always pissed off, but then I heard stories from people who went to Purdue. I knew people who went to Purdue who said that what you saw on TV was nothing what the man was like. That he was really warm, really caring, really personable. He just came off that way on television.
Yep.
So I never had a problem with Gene Katie. Never had a problem with him.
My grandma.
And I can't really complain about Indiana. I mean, my younger brother has a master's in international business from Indiana.
Wow.
But he never went when he was in graduate school there. He attended no basketball games, no football games, no nothing. He didn't have anything to do with their athletics program. They just offered a very specific, very tailored master's program that he has turned into a very successful career.
And you got to respect your family's decisions as well. So
hey, Broncos got a new.
I mean, he was looking at. There was Indiana and USC I think he had it narrowed down to 4 schools. Indiana and USC were 2 of them. I know. I don't remember the other 2. This was quite a while ago. That offered a master's in international business with the focus, like the very specific, like you study international business, but then you specifically focus on agriculture.
Yeah.
And that's what he was going into. That's what he does for a living. Is he works for a very large corporation, and they do industrial irrigation. So like the delivery of water to mass farms. That's what he does. He specializes in that. And that's so he was looking for a very specific narrow field of study, which really, limits where you can go. Like for instance, Iowa State has a lot of Japanese students. Here's why. Iowa State is one of the very few universities that offer engineering degrees in landscape architecture.
Wow.
Okay. So that's like building into and on the side of mountains, building into and around riverfronts, things like that.
Wow.
It's one of the very few schools that offer it. So that's why there's a lot of Japanese students in Ames. Like all these universities have specialties. Some schools specialize in this, and some schools like West Virginia specialize in nothing.
I'll say this, Jeff. I'll
so
say this
bad.
as a side note to what your brother's master's in it. That is probably one of the hardest programs to get accepted into. It is like you got less than maybe a 10% chance of getting in. And I got to ask you this, Jeff. Did he have to go overseas to study also?
He spent his junior year in college living in Petrozavodsk, Russia, which is right on the border of Finland and Russia.
Now,
extreme northwest Russia, where Finland and Russia come together at the Gulf of Helsinki. Petrozavodsk is a city of about 2 million. He lived there, and then he worked overseas in Kazakhstan for 3 years, which is where he met my sister-in-law. They married there, and then he lived, as he likes to say, 2 blocks from Germany. He lived in Enschede, Netherlands, but like if you went out of the condominium he lived, if you drove out onto the street and you turned right, you went 2 blocks and it was Germany.
I gotta ask you, was that his undergrad or is that when he's getting his master's?
No, he already had his master's when he was in Russia. He was an undergrad. When he worked overseas, he already had his master's. That's how he got the overseas postings.
No, now when you go through that program, you got to spend a year over there overseas studying.
Well, see, he's fluent. He's fluent in Russian. My brother and sister got all the brains in the family. My brother is fluent in Russian, and is kind of he tells me it's going away because he doesn't use it as much anymore. But he was used to be pretty fluent in German, and he got twin undergraduate degrees. He got at the same time he got a degree in Russian language. He got a degree in political science from Illinois Wesleyan. Then he got his master's at Indiana. My sister, who is brilliant, went to Loyola of Chicago on a swimming scholarship, and then got her master's at the University of Illinois Chicago campus.
And Jeff, he lived in these places after the Cold War, right?
Yeah, when he was in Petrozavodsk, it was 1994, and Yeltsin was the president of the Soviet Union. It was after Gorbachev, so the Soviet Union had fallen apart. I mean, it was Russia, not the USSR.
Yeah.
And Kazakhstan was, when he was there, it was no longer a member of the USSR. It was his own independent country. So yes, he was there after the Cold War.
Okay, that's good.
It was after the Soviet Union had fallen apart. Yes.
Okay, that's very good, because if it was before that, then that would have been bad.
Yeah.
Now his Russian was so good that he didn't. I remember he told my mom that the only way people that when he was there as a college student, the only way the Russian people that were there knew he was not Russian was 2 things: his glasses and his boots. because his eyeglasses were too modern and too expensive for a Russian to have been able to afford, and so were his boots. He had a very good. He was told, it's going to snow there. They don't shovel the streets. They don't do anything. Get yourself the best pair of boots you can buy. So he went out and bought this really expensive pair of insulated boots. And the Russians would look at that and they knew there was no way a Russian could afford that. So he had to be a foreigner.
Yeah.
And his dialect, the Russian language has a couple of dialects. And one of the dialects is just like in the United States, we would call them an accent, a Southern accent, a New England accent, whatever. In Russian, they're dialects. And the Russian he learned, and what you typically learn if you're taught Russian, is akanya, which is how they pronounce the vowels A and O. And a Russian hearing that hears Moscow.
Mm.
They hear the middle of the country. So
capital.
like they're like, you would say, oh, he sounds like he's from the Midwest. Same thing in Russia. The Russian he uses, a Russian speaker would think he's from the middle of the country, probably from Moscow.
Huh.
But he used to get pissed. He used to get pissed all the time because the Russian students that he studied with they were trying to learn English, and he was trying to learn Russian.
Oh,
so
boy.
all the time they wanted to speak English to him, to practice their English on him. And his Russian was much better than their English. He said, I never heard English slaughtered so badly, but he was like, no, I want to talk to you in Russian. No, we want to talk to you in English. And so that went back and forth all the time. I'll tell you a story here. This is interesting. Here's how blessed we are, guys. We don't know it. We don't realize how blessed we are in the United States. About a year and a half after he came back, two girls that he knew in Petrozavodsk. One of them's dad was a doctor. I don't remember what the other one did, but they were pretty rich by Russian standards. They came to visit my brother and spend a week in Illinois and travel around the Midwest. And when they got off the plane at O'Hare, the first thing they wanted to do before they even drove back to the house was they wanted to see a grocery store.
Wow.
Because they'd heard about grocery stores. And so they just stopped at like the first grocery store they could find. And here's these 21, 22-year-old Russian women, and they broke down and cried. They walked in the front door and they cried because it was all true. The stories they heard was true. You can buy 3 different kinds of corn. There actually is fresh vegetables in the middle of winter. There are, things that they don't have. They'd have to line up and wait to get fresh fish. Well, you could just walk right up to the meat counter and order it,
Yeah.
So all these things we take for granted, like they couldn't believe they went down the canned vegetable aisle, and Stephen explained to them what they were looking at was baked beans. Okay. There's a specific example. I remember the way he tells the story was about baked beans. And like in Russia, there would be like baked beans. That's it. I mean, they'd be in a can. It's whoever made it, and there's no variety. It all comes in one size. And here's like 3 different sizes of cans, and some are barbecue, and some are spicy, and some are hickory, and some are plain beans, and some have beans with pieces of bacon at it, and they're like, couldn't believe it. They were just stunned. Now, it's probably a little different in Russia now, but this was right. Like you guys, was it Will, you or Jacob asked about the Cold War?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob.
Yep.
This was like 2 years after the Cold War. So Russia was just coming out of communism.
Wow.
So, like an American supermarket was completely beyond their experience.
Russia's a little bit different now. Not on American standards.
Yeah, it's different. It's not on the scale of the U.S., but it's different now. But back then, they were like in another world. They just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was a lot different back then.
We're so lucky here. I mean,
Yeah.
we're all spoiled.
Yeah, we
I
should
might
we should all
break
be
down-
thankful.
I might break down and cry as well if I was stuck behind a wall for 30 years or whatever.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
and they would hear about things about not just America. They'd hear the West, England and France or whatever. They'd hear, but they wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe the stories because they couldn't believe it was true. So then to see it with their own eyes, was just like, oh my God, the stories are true.
Yeah.
We're worried about who's going to go to the NCAA tournament. They're worried about whether their electricity is going to still be on tomorrow because 100,000 people might lose their power simply because a part breaks at the factory and they don't have at the outlet station and they don't have a spare part to plug in.
Right.
There's a lot of people in the U.S. who wouldn't handle being in Russia because of the brutal force that the police use, them breaking the law all the time and then going to Russia.
Steve told me the only time he ever had any issue at all with Russian police or Russian security was the summertime and they were in a park somewhere and he had gotten like 2 or 3 days before a care package that mom had sent to him. She'd sent him some food and some different stuff like that. And one of the things that he wanted bubble gum because he couldn't get gum in Russia.
Yeah.
So he had bubble gum. So he was having a conversation with a Russian woman and her 2 young boys, who I think were like 4th graders or 5th graders, something like that age. And he offered them gum. And about 5 minutes later, as he's walking out of the park, a policeman in uniform, not like a spy cop, but like a uniform cop, came up to him and he said, "Obviously, you're a foreigner. You don't know the rules here. You're not allowed to give food to the locals."
Huh.
And he's like, I'm giving a child a piece of gum. And the cop was cool about it. He's like, "Yeah, I know." He says, "I didn't want to interrupt you." I said, "But just be careful when you're doing something like that."
Huh.
Like,
I didn't know about that.
I didn't know.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, he was like, "Holy shit." Okay. All right.
Damn.
I'm giving a kid a piece of gum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not trying to subvert the family. I'm trying to give a little boy a piece of gum.
In Russia, they have a lot of strict policies, a lot more strict than the U.S. So I bet that surprised them.
Well, it used to be. It's not anymore. But it used to be punishable by 6 months in jail if you were caught with the board game Monopoly.
Yeah.
What? Was that during the Cold War years?
Yes, when the USSR was still in power.
Okay,
because
makes sense.
Monopoly, of course, teaches capitalism. And so if you were caught with a board game or a black market version of Monopoly, you could face up to 6 months in jail.
What?
Yep. I was just saying.
How did they even get that with the internet not existing back then, and then being locked behind a wall?
You wouldn't believe. Oh man!
Oh, trust me.
You wouldn't believe the things they could get.
Yeah.
Moly.
Oh, hey Jacob. Back when I was in high school in 1988, there was a group of us that went over there on a field trip to Moscow and stuff. I mean, it is so beautiful, the buildings and stuff. And we was actually left the hotel. Mind you, we was all 16 and 17 at the time. Went into a bar, and they didn't even do nothing with us.
Wow.
Didn't take IDs or nothing. And then when we was walking out, there was like some cops and stuff there.
What?
Hold on.
Well, my experience of drinking in Europe is we went to Europe in the summer of '85, myself and 3 buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So there were 2 21-year-olds and 2 19-year-olds, and we were traveling as a foursome in Europe. And we were in West Germany, which was at that time West Germany. And we were in Bremerhaven, which is way up on the north coast. It's kind of like where Denmark and Germany come together. But anyway, we couldn't wait to try all this German beer. And of course they don't, I mean, if you look 16, they'll serve you. I mean, there's no, I don't even know if there is a law. It's just completely up to the discretion of the server. So we are asking around. We want to go to a restaurant that none of the tourists go to. We don't want to be in a tourist trap restaurant. We want to go to where the locals go. So they tell us where this place is. And we get there and it's like 6:30. And we're like, that son of a bitch lied to us. This place must suck. There's nobody here. It was like this great big open banquet room with like seating for 100, and there's like 8 people in there, including us. And we're like, what the hell? So we just start drinking beer. And then we decide to order food. Well, little did we know, but the Germans, like, dinner for them is like 8:00.
Yeah.
So we were actually early and didn't know it, and we just thought we were in a bad restaurant. And all of a sudden, here comes all these people, and we had to experience the waiter thing because, like, here, you have a drink and you look at your menu, and then after a couple of minutes, the waiter comes back and takes your order. Not there. If you want the waiter to come to you, it's considered rude for the server to interrupt your experience at the table. You have to wave at them, get their attention, and invite them to the table. Otherwise, it's like you're imposing upon the guest if you interrupt them while they're, So finally about 8:00 when people start coming in, we start getting our food because we ordered before the crowd started getting there. And that's when I decide I need to go to the bathroom. I'm the first one of the 4 of us that decides I'm going to go to the loo. Okay, well, to put it kindly, the 4 of us have shared about 3 pitchers of this German beer. And I stood up and all the beer went into my legs. And all of a sudden I was wobbly. I was like, oh.
Hey, Jeff.
Whoa, that's strong beer.
Yeah. I'll never forget the first time I was over there. Oh, if you guys ever get blessed to go to Germany, do not ask for cold beer. They will literally look at you crazy. They always serve it over there.
Wow. Really?
Well, first off, I'll say, number one, I'm still under the age here at 20 years old, but wait till December. And
it's not true that the beer is served. It's not served warm. It's just not served cold like it is here. Mm-hmm. It's like lightly chilled, like the temperature of like you had it in a soda too, not just beer. I mean, like their drinks are like you took it off the shelf, you put it in the refrigerator for like a half an hour, so it got a little cool, but it's not really cold by what we think is cold.
I was gonna say you'd
be like, oh, it needs to be in there for another half an hour.
I was gonna say before you mentioned that they put it in the fridge, I was like, so it's basically room temperature, but I guess it starts out that way.
Right. It's just a little bit, yeah. And
yes. But see,
so then I come back to the table and like, that's it, fellas. I'm not having any more beer. I'm just going to drink water for the rest of the, and that's what they decided too. And we look around and families are ordering pitchers of beer. I mean, there's like 12-year-old kids who are like having a glass. They're not sitting there drinking, but like they're not drinking
my grandfather's
soda.
Talked about that before because
they're not drinking soda.
We have rich German history. My great grandmother who passed, I guess it'll be 10 years in October this year. She was full on German. Back in the I won't the whole concentrate the bad times of Germany. Like she grew up in that, so like she has so much rich history. Like it's in my blood a little bit. So, but
and I'll say I will say this: we did not go to Scotland, but we were or Wales, but we were in England, Ireland, and Northern Ireland.
Okay.
Germany, Holland, Belgium, and France. Those were the places we were. 19 days.
Nice.
That's a lot of countries.
Awesome. And I've been to France and England and Scotland.
And I have to tell you that, oh my goodness, The German women. Oh,
Keep it in your pants, Jeff.
I
Calm down.
didn't get to Italy. I didn't get to Italy, or I would have probably been doing. If I would have been moaning over the Italian women. But everybody says, "Oh, French women." Oh, the French women are not. Puh.
I'll
And the
say
English.
this, Jeff. You
No,
probably
yeah,
agree with this.
it was the German women. Like, hello, Fraulein.
Jeff, you probably agree with me. But have you ever been? Was you ever in Berlin?
No, we didn't. You could go to Berlin. You were allowed to go to Berlin, but we didn't.
Remember how? Who the heck?
What the hell is that?
Sorry.
Remember how they had the wall there separating what used to be East Germany and West Germany?
Right. Yeah, we wanted to go see it, but we didn't.
I was actually there waiting and stuff like that on my way home and stuff from Mattress Desert Store. There used to be women lining up there, waiting for guys to come across them, just like to walk and stuff back and forth, waiting for men to come and get them and stuff.
And
I had to say that the most difficult people to understand as far as language, like if they were trying to speak English, so who had did the Germans have the big German accent when they spoke English? I mean, who the most difficult people to understand were by far children in Ireland. Irish children are almost impossible to understand. It's English they're speaking, but they have such an accent, and their voices are high because they're young children, and they talk just 1,000 miles a minute, and you can't understand a damn thing they're saying.
What about Irish adults?
No, I didn't have any problem understanding the adults, but you'd hear children talking, and we would all look at each other like, "Do you understand what they said?" I mean, they're like, "No,"
They probably wouldn't understand what we're saying either.
No, they could, and that would be it. Because as soon everywhere we went, or most places we went, as soon as we were in a group, like if we were in a park or in a mall or in a store or at a museum or someplace like that, and people would overhear you speaking, they would hear that American accent, and right away they'd want to know where you were from in America. Did you like whatever? Like if you were in France, are you enjoying France? If you were in Holland, do you like Holland? They wanted to know, were you having a good time, and why were you here, and what was America like? And like the first 5 times that was kind of flattering, and then it got old. And it was like, we're trying not to speak too loud because we don't want everybody coming up to us and start asking us 8 million questions about the United States.
So,
which was America, and Americans to everybody except in England, where it was the States and Yanks. Everywhere else, it was not the United States, not the U.S., not the USA. It was referred to as America. We were called Americans, but in England, it was the States and Yanks.
I don't remember exactly what all they did. Sorry to interrupt you, Jacob. If you wanted to go ahead,
no, go ahead. I'll go
after. We're talking about like Germany and everything. My grandfather is he's an engineer, and he's done a lot of traveling over his career. He's been to Germany, but one big thing he did, and I don't remember exactly what it was, but like a few years ago, we're going back 2018, he spent maybe half the year, and it was all back and forth, but like big time projects over in Helsinki in Finland. Jeff, I don't know if you're familiar with all that. Now I don't remember everything. Like my grandmother, like she finally went with him one trip for like a month, and she said she loved it. They had, I can't remember much of what they had over there, but she said it was amazing. I've seen pictures of Helsinki, and it's amazing.
beautiful.
There was something like like a lot of great, like the university over there or whatever.
My brother, yeah, my brother's traveled all over the world, and he says
I've
Finland
never
and
been.
he says Finland and Helsinki, the capital, and Finland, the country, are the most beautiful places he's seen, and he's traveled. He's traveled all
The
over the world.
pictures, it looks beautiful over there. I've seen
Yeah.
pictures, but like I said, like I've never left. First off, not only have I never left America, dude, I haven't left the East Coast.
Wow, you never been
I've
to
been
like any
sheltered
part
in
of the
the
West?
South.
Well,
Wow, man. Been to the North?
we were worried. We were
Well, I've been up
worried
north, yeah.
when we went over there. I knew a little bit of German, and Bill knew a little bit of German, and Francis was pretty, or we thought, pretty good at pretty good at French. So I thought
Right.
we'll get by. But we found out right away the magic for language was the wallet. If you pulled out your wallet, if you had to find out what something cost or you were going to buy something, suddenly everybody speaks English.
Right? Because they want that money.
They want the money. They can all speak English then.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
this was
$2.
keep in mind, this is before the European Union existed, but it was before they had the euro, the common currency. So Germany was still using Deutschmarks, France was still using francs, England was, as they are today, still using pounds. The Dutch were using kronas. So you had to change your money all the time. And if you were like, how much is this? If you ask how much is it, I guarantee you they spoke English. I mean, every shop owner, every restaurant over, every merchant all over Europe can speak English. I guarantee it.
They accepted dollar bills, right?
They would have, except we weren't carrying dollars.
Oh,
You know, we were exchanging all our money. Now we were there just by nothing that had nothing to do with us, just complete good and great fortune. And here's what had happened. In March or April of 1985, a bunch of Palestinian terrorists hijacked a TWA plane and made it fly to Algeria. Then they made it fly to Beirut. And then there was a hijacking in Athens.
Yep.
And then I think there was a bombing on a cruise ship in the Aegean Sea. So what happened was there had been 3 terrorist actions in the spring, okay? And we were waiting to buy our plane tickets and make our hotel arrangements in May, okay? Well, fortunately, we waited because those terrorist things were all over the news, and that was kind of new at the time. Terrorism was kind of new, and it scared the pants off the American tourist industry.
Yeah.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, there are no Americans going to Europe in the summer. So what that did was it dropped the bottom out of all the prices because the hotels, the airlines, the hotels, the trains, the restaurants, everybody was starving to attract the Americans. But no Americans were coming. So they were having to gash all their prices. And us 4 scumbags just lucked into it. You know, we just lucked into going over there when all the prices were hitting rock bottom. It was just, great good fortune on our half.
Yep, good timing. Yep, I remember that. You was probably, was you a freshman or a sophomore in college, Jeff?
I had just finished my second year.
Mm-hmm. I was getting ready to go into my 8th grade year when that all happened.
No, first year. I'm sorry, I had just finished my first year.
I was getting ready to go in my 8th grade year when that happened, and it was so weird. So, hey, Will, did you say
what we had done? The four of us had decided that we were not going to go on spring break. That we wanted to take a trip over the summer, and we all decided let's go to Europe.
Right.
And then every one of us all had part-time jobs, and we all said everyone went to our parents, and we all told our parents the same thing. We'll pay $500 towards this trip if you'll pay $500 towards the trip. And all of our parents individually agreed they would do that. They would pay for half of our expenses if we paid for the other half. And then the bottom fell out of the airline prices. And all of a sudden, tickets were half of what they used to be.
Mm.
And hotels were half of what they used to be. So when we got to Europe, we had like twice the spending money we thought we were going to have.
Yeah.
So we had a hell of a time.
Yeah. I'll say this, Jeff. Do you still carry your passport, or do you never get it renewed?
I haven't had I think the last time I renewed my passport was 2016 because I had to go up to Winnipeg for a wedding. You don't need a passport to go to Canada, but I renewed it anyway.
Yeah.
But they're good for 10 years.
2017, so.
Yeah, I think they used to be good for 10 years. I think they still are.
Yeah,
you don't need a passport for going outside of the outside North America, right?
Right. Now, yeah, you just go into Canada.
I think
right.
now, going to Canada, I think it's either you going to Canada or you're coming from Canada, you need a passport.
Yeah, because we went up, because I had a family member get married in Winnipeg, so we went up to Winnipeg. I've only been to Canada 3 times. I've been to Winnipeg, and I've been to Montreal, and I was at the Windsor, which is right on the other side of Detroit. It's like go across the bridge from Detroit, and that city is Windsor, Canada. So I've been there, and I've been to Montreal, which is on an island, by the way. The city of Montreal is on an island in the St. Lawrence River, and been up to Winnipeg. But Canada is no different than, I mean, the money's different, and the people talk a little different, but I mean, it's just like here. I mean, there's no, culturally, you'd think you're in the United States.
Yeah.
Jeff, I have a question. Is the rumor of like foreigners to America at least like being much nicer than Americans, is that true? Is that rumor true?
What do you mean?
Like a lot of people talk about how foreigners are much nicer than how Americans are and all that. When you were visiting countries, is that true?
I didn't really run into anybody rude. Everybody we ran into was no different than they are here. I mean, you run into some rude people, you run into some nice people. You know, when you're a tourist and you're spending money, everybody likes you. The only and it sticks out in my memory because it was really the only time anybody was really rude to us was in the train station in Paris.
Oh,
we were treated like shit. Part of the time we were in France. Now I have to be very careful when I say this because the bad experiences we had in France were all in Paris, not out in the countryside. When we were at Normandy, we went to the D-Day beaches, and we went to the cemeteries there and some of the World War II sites.
A lot of historic stuff, right?
And a lot of history stuff like that. All those French people loved Americans. There was no issue there. I mean, we were treated just wonderfully. It's just when we got to there's a thing called Eurail, okay? EU rail, okay? And you buy these passes, and it's pretty much like a train ticket that you can go from one country to the other or whatever, okay? We wanted to change our itinerary when we were leaving Paris because instead of going back to Amsterdam, we had 3 days. We had the last 3 days before we had to go to London to fly back to the United States that we could do whatever we wanted. And Bill wanted to go to Amsterdam, but the rest of us wanted to go to Munich, which we had not been to. We had not been to the southern part of Germany. So we get to the train station and we want to change our tickets. And the agent there, both agents we dealt with were just pricks. But that could have been anywhere. You could run into an asshole train agent in the United States, you know. So I can't say, oh, it was the damn French. It was just 2 jerks, you know. They just happened to be in France,
just off the street.
Yeah, and we were told by other Europeans when they would ask us where we're going, and we would say, well, we're going to spend some time in France or whatever. They would always say, don't try to speak French unless your French is very good. because the French will be annoyed at your bad French and would rather have to speak to you in English than answer your badly misused French. They're kind of particular about their language. They want it said a certain way, and we thought Francis could handle it, and lo and behold, and none of the rest of us knew a damn thing in French, and lo and behold, that was not true.
Yeah, the only thing I said in French was merci. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess they're gonna have to speak to me in English then.
Hey, Michael. Apparently, you had a question for me. I forgot what it was, but you asked it a few minutes ago. I don't know.
You said you was over. Where was you at?
I said I was in Europe. Is that what I
Yeah.
said?
Was
Oh,
it a family vacation or for like a what's the word I'm called? Foreign exchange student.
No, I was just there on vacation. I went to in 2018 I went to Paris, and 2019 I went to England and Scotland.
Where
And
at
you
in
said-
England?
Huh?
Where at in England did you go?
London.
Nice.
And didn't you go to another country for Christmas? What was it called?
I went to the Dominican Republic. Yes.
Yeah, Dominican Republic. That.
Nice.
Did you have a fun
Yeah.
time there?
Yeah, I've never been to the Caribbean.
You bet your ass I
Oh.
did.
Y'all ever been to
I was gonna say, Jeff, if you ever get a chance, go down to the Cayman Islands, man.
Yeah,
I like
I've
the,
never been to the islands or the Caribbean or any place like that, and I haven't been outside of 3 trips to Canada. I haven't been outside of the country in 30 some years.
my brother was.
Meanwhile, my brother's been all over the damn planet. I mean,
Aren't you due for a nice extended vacation, Jeff?
What's that?
Aren't you due for a nice extended vacation?
Yeah, but it's expensive to travel, and I'm not keen to go overseas again. Plus, I'd be traveling by myself, and I'm not going to do that.
Sure.
Although
Oh,
one thing I've always said, I've always promised myself, and I regretted it that we didn't do it in 1985. But of course, you're young. You think, oh well, in 5 years I'll come back, and then you don't. And then you're like, well, in 5 years I'll get back here sometime in the next 5 years, and then you don't. And then time gets away from you, and you get responsibility and anything. Anyway, Rome. I very much want to go to Rome.
Yeah.
And
Indianapolis, but man,
I have, like I said, that I've never left the country, but like one of the churches that I grew up going to did a lot of mission trips. Well, my dad, he went to Guatemala one year by himself, and then the next year he took my kid brother, and they did a lot of like construction and housework or whatever, just helping do what they can to like work on homes there. So, but like I said, like I rode on a plane back in May of this past year when I took a trip down for Mother's Day to see my family in Florida. Outside of that, I've never been on a plane. I've never left the East Coast. The highest I've gone up, like northwise, I've been to Pennsylvania.
Because it's not efficient enough, and then when he leaves, everybody goes, "That son of a bitch." Yeah, that's what he does.
Oh, so
And he used to build up all his flying miles on Lufthansa. That's what he used to. It was the only airlines he would fly.
So are you going to the Iowa Maryland game Monday night, Jeff, to see Caitlin Clark?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Are you
Is
going
it the women's?
Now the thing is, are you going as a fan or are you actually going to work the game?
No, I'm just going.
Oh, so you're not even working?
I've got a credential, so I'll be courtside. I'm just not going to work it. I'm just going to sit there in one of the chairs and watch.
Nice. And then
Oh,
go
speaking
get the
of,
halftime.
I want to update y'all on something. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mike, but update on my career real quick over at Wallace where I go to school. So I have been going to the basketball games. They started up baseball. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos I put up, but I've been in talks with the AD who, like, I met with at the beginning of the semester and everything, but he wants to try to, like, he's really big on I mean, he's a huge sports fan in general, much like all of us in here.
Hell yeah.
But like with the basketball games, especially because I've been going to it quite a bit, he wants to do something. He said maybe in a couple weeks or so, maybe he could get me involved with like meeting the players, talking with them, interviewing them, or whatever.
Oh
So
yeah.
hell
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
man!
There
Big
you
things
go.
are. Hey, God's got big things ahead for sure.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Ballard,
And the
have you
men's
gotten
team is
touch-
really, really good. The women's team's good too, but they've had some like they've had their moments. But like dude, I love watching the men's team play and the tempo and everything that they play with. Like they really shoot the three well. They can get some good rebounds and answer off of those defensively. And I mean, Wallace has some good teams, man.
Hey, Ballard, I was going to ask you this: is the AD there also the sports information contact?
I'm sorry.
Is the athletic director also the SID?
Oh yeah, like his title is technically communications director. If you get what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
He's the go-to guy to get involved with really any sport or just get started on like a career path there. He kind of oversees
So he's the one that issues
practically that stuff.
So he's the one that issues the credentials.
What do you mean by credentials?
Like, okay, say like I was a writer there.
Okay.
Where you go to like the local paper, and I was wanting to cover the game, I would have to apply to get a credential.
He's the one to talk to.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh, and Ballard,
He's the guy. That's the guy, Mike.
Ballard, don't screw this up, man.
No, I know. This is huge for me. You know, and he's watched the channel. He knows about the channel. You know, I've kind of told him, I'm like, yeah, I got some people on here. We might trash talk and cuss a bit, but for the most part, just, you know, I try to on my end keep it clean. He says, yeah, man, I get that, but like he follows me on Twitter and everything, and you know, he knows about the channel. He's seen some of the stuff I put out. He says it's really good and it's a good start, and like a lot of people my age, you know, that want to be in sports, like I'm kind of ahead of it all, just being on here with you guys and just taking a head start on my career with the channel or the blog or anything he says it's pretty impressive. So,
well, that's great, Ballard, but I got to ask you a question for Will.
What's up?
Why did you let your StreamYard get out of control like it did a couple days
Okay. All right.
wait,
all
what
right.
happened?
All right. All right. I'm gonna have a long discussion about this. All right. This was my stream last night, Ballard, my little hangout stream.
Okay.
Okay, so what I just did was I just privated it. All right, so you guys can't see it now. It's off my little video.
good.
Yeah, it's private.
Thank
So
God.
yeah, so guys, next time I do a stream, all right, I'm gonna be getting serious. All right, I'm gonna if Raj comes in, I'm gonna be like, hey. I don't want all this cussing and all this inappropriate talk. We're not gonna have. We're not gonna have.
My
What was
point,
that?
My point was that you need to have more control in your streams. Like in my stream yards, which get a decent amount of people, around like 6-7 people. Well, I can't allow 7, but around there, I'd never let my stream yards get like that. You know, I would never let that happen.
Well, what should I have done?
Cussing and all that. Cussing is fine. I don't have, and you know, it's not that. But talking about that stuff for an hour and a half, that's ridiculous.
What should I?
No one wants to hear that for an hour and a half.
What should I have done? What should I have done to handle that?
You should have told them that they need to change conversation. No one wants to hear that for an hour and a half.
Should I tell them when they come into my next stream? Let's not talk about that.
Sure, because they talked about it for about 85% of the stream last time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
And me in the comment section was over here just talking about how you need to control them.
Yeah, I know.
I know Jeff put a comment in there as well.
Yeah, I've been talking to Jeff recently about it.
Leo said something like, "You need to get more control over your streams."
I know, I do.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and he's gotten better with it now. But Celine Driver used to have the same problem.
What do you mean?
He would let old Uncle Lou and Chess come in here and talk about their garbage that they always talk about. They barge into the streams and talk about their mess, but he's gotten better with that now. You need to as well.
All right, I got you. I'll be.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
In other
should
words,
I do
pushover?
should I be like, if somebody enters the back room and doesn't have the camera on, should I tell them to turn the camera on just to make sure it is them?
Oh yeah, do
Yes.
that as well. Do that as well, because people, you never know who's coming into the stream.
Yeah, because it could say Jacob Watson, but it could be some random dude. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I'll come in here with the 2021 national champions, whatever. Still,
True.
and that's probably gonna be my name until week 1, because I want to celebrate it. You know, you don't win even Alabama national championships don't happen every year. No, so
No, we only average every other year.
Let's not get into that, please.
well, even then, you still, when you win a national championship, you want to celebrate it. You know,
Hell yeah.
especially when you haven't had one 41 years. But I know we'll be getting more this time.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So what do you got going for so what are you doing between the hours of 5:30 and 9 o'clock your time tomorrow, or 9:30, Jeff?
Well, I'll be watching the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm surprised I thought you was going to boycott it.
No. I'll be watching it, hoping it's a good game. But I will not be watching the halftime show as soon as the final play of the second quarter happens. I'll set a timer for 20 minutes and go away.
Oh, is that how long it is?
It's about 20 to 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
Michael, Jeff's not Celine Driver. He's not going to boycott the Super Bowl.
Well, I know.
Yeah, and he don't call it the National Felons League too.
Yeah. But I will say this, Jeff. I get it, but I mean, I get it. Rapping R&B is not your kind of music.
No, I don't like any of that hip hop shit.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
with
either.
them too. You know, I hate my generation. Carry on.
Jake Ballard, I agree with you. I like.
Dude, I am an old school classic rock, and I'm gonna be honest. I at least like Blake Shelton, or I like the country stuff today. That's not bad, but the weird rap and the cussing and the gangs and all that crap,
can't have it.
I hate it. The hell with it.
You know, I just today
pull up on them in the hood, like yeah. Like what the hell is that?
I just listened to Freebird today, and it was awesome.
Was it the first time you listened to it?
It was the first time I listened to the entire song, like full on.
You should have recorded your reaction, bro.
I should.
I'll say this. I'm more. I mean, there's some rap I'll listen to now, but I'm more to like the stuff from like the 80s and early 90s, because it didn't really focus more on what it how they do about it today. Back then,
I must be a little bit different than you guys then.
Oh, you're a fan of that hip hop, aren't you?
Yeah, I like some rap. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
watch. You want to watch a guy that reacts to music and that will provide quality entertainment? Go check out No Life Shack.
No Life Shack. Okay.
His reaction to Freebird is the best.
Dude, my mouth was wide open, like, holy crap, that guitar is freaking awesome.
He's hearing like all the love stuff, like the second verse where he says "Bye bye baby." He's like, bro, Skinner, y'all some players, man. Bro, you're talking to dead guys in the 70s.
Freebird is like the 25th best song from Leonard Skinner. I mean, it's way down the list.
25th?
It's
What
just
the?
popular. I mean, people know it. People know the song, and they know what it sounds like, and they know it's Leonard Skinner or whatever. But give me back my bullets. Tuesday's Gone. Simple
Oh yeah.
Man. But,
Okay,
What
okay.
about Sweet
I'm
Home
a
that's
Alabama?
diehard
that
Skinner
Yeah.
fan.
smell.
I
I mean, Simple
don't know
Man.
about
What do y'all
25th
what do y'all
though,
think
dude.
about
I think it's my favorite.
Simple Man just crushes Freebird, and the guitar in Simple
Okay.
Man is better too.
what do y'all think about Sweet Home Alabama?
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a
good
good
song.
song. It's a good song, but I'd rather
That's a
listen to
good song. But
Georgia.
I got sick as a student hearing it because they play it like 5 times at every game, and I was like, God, that's enough. Stop it.
Yeah, I'd rather listen to freaking Georgia on my mind, huh?
I remember when Alabama stopped playing Dixieland Delight at Alabama games because every time they'd get to the Auburn part.
Oh yeah, I was so pissed off about that.
Auburn.
What is wrong with
Oh,
that song? That is a great song. Why
No,
did
no,
they
no.
stop
Okay,
it for?
Michael, you don't
No,
understand.
but what
you don't
you got to
understand.
understand,
You don't
Michael, what they
understand.
did was they would. So you got to understand the song. Spend
Oh.
my dollar, and then we
Yeah.
would throw in
On
on
beer.
beer,
on
parked
beer.
in a holler neath the mountain moonlight, roll
Yeah.
tide, hold her up tight against the wall.
Yeah.
But then there would get a
Make a
part
little
where
love.
It would be F
they
Make a
Auburn,
didn't
little loving
really. They
all
would
night.
say F Auburn
F Auburn, and LSU and Tennessee too.
because
Oh,
they
okay. So
dropped
they
the
put
F
changing
bomb
lyrics to the
only
song, or
because
added,
right
or
only
added some of
because they
it.
dropped the F bomb, they dropped the song and banned it.
But they
Now
brought it.
they brought it back, and now we say beat Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee too.
No, you
No,
know you
no, no,
don't.
no, no.
Yeah,
In
but I was saying, have you
2018,
ever
they
seen
said,
Alabama in concert before?
Well, don't they play like a voiceover to kind of voice
The,
over what the fans say?
the adults say beat Auburn. The student section is
Say
still
F Auburn.
yelling fuck Auburn.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
are
Hey,
they?
Jeff, have
In
you ever seen
2018,
Alabama in concert?
Well, now
Look at this.
I'll wait till you guys get done.
Sorry, I'm not gonna play all this, but go check this guy out. He's awesome. But I'm gonna play. Wait till it gets. I'm gonna play just when it
Oh
gets.
yeah, I've seen a bunch of this guy's. I've seen a bunch of his reactions.
No life, Shaq.
Hey,
Hold on.
Jeff, have you ever seen Alabama? Oh, go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
Yeah, hold on. It gets better.
Oh shit!
Hold up.
Hold up, Leonard! Oh, hold up!
You say y'all some players.
Y'all some players.
Y'all ain't tell me all that, no.
Okay. Come
Y'all know I get crazy.
Okay.
He's like, y'all didn't tell me y'all gonna turn up like this.
Oh,
holy
Jeff.
crap. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's kind of how I reacted when I listened to it today.
You're like,
I'm
holy
not
cow.
I was like, holy crap.
Now,
I
what
get
you
sorry.
need to do, go find any live version. In fact, do you have Spotify?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Go find their live. Oh, crap. What's it? One more from the road or for the road or something. But, dude, have you heard the live version of Freebird with like they get to a great, amazing piano part and like they just.
There's about 11-minute version recorded live in Atlanta.
Oh.
Yes.
That's the most famous
Of the original, right? From like
That's the
90s,
most.
from
That's the most.
76.
That's the most famous live version. Is the one where it starts out and Ronnie Van Zant says, "Play it pretty for Atlanta now."
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, have you ever?
And it's about 11 minutes long.
I'm being serious when I say this. I've never heard where I live. I've never heard a country song been like played by anybody where I live. It's all rap, all that.
Well, when I saw the Stones, Zach Brown band open and they played some of their country songs. They were great.
Zach Brown's good.
Now, I
Yeah.
don't know about Will. They might play some country, whatever, in Walton, but at Marietta, it's all rap. And And I'm it's as well.
At football games, sometimes they play Bon Jovi. They play Journey. They play rock at football games. They definitely do.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with rap either, and maybe it's because it's kind of how I grew up.
I'm so glad I'm not the only millennium.
You're just like me, Ballard. You're just like me.
Yeah, you and me, man. We need to start something up because this is awesome. But dude,
I have a guitar.
I grew up listening to all this because I spent a lot of time with my grandparents.
You know, and
I got one right here. Look at
that.
Hell yeah!
At football games, they'll play a mix of 2000, like new and 2000s rap.
Yeah, they play rap, but they also play rock. They play Enter Sandman they play Enter Sandman by Metallica when they enter the field.
Yeah.
In fact, I think
they do that for Jesus. I gotta ask, will they play at Alabama when the team comes on the field?
They play the
fight song.
I think they just play the fight song, don't they?
Really?
Jeff?
Oh no, they come out to Thunderstruck.
Yeah. I'm a Georgia fan, but that's a great. Oh, that's a great song.
But I gotta ask you this, Jeff. Have you
they're getting ready to come when it's at Bryant Denny, and they're getting ready to come out. The PA guy will say, now entering the field, your 18-time national champion Crimson Tide, and they'll start Thunderstruck, and then Thunderstruck will play for about 30 seconds, and then the team will come out.
Oh, yeah.
And then once the team runs out and they've gone all the way through the band and they get to the sideline, they stop Thunderstruck and the band plays Yay, Alabama.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a student, there was no Thunderstruck, and they just came out to Yay, Alabama.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Alabama's.
And then they play Bob O'Reilly by The Who when Georgia enters the field.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. It's one of the.
I don't like that song.
It's one of the most It's one of the most disgusting, stupid songs ever written.
Wow.
Yes.
And what the hell it has to do with Georgia football, I don't know.
I don't understand either. Actually, I don't know why we play that. Play some other song than The Who. Makes no sense. What was our team doing?
Hey Jeff, have you ever seen Alabama in concert?
The band? No.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love it. I'd love to.
Hey, if
now Randy Owen, the lead singer for Alabama, probably a dozen times he was live in the stadium to sing the national anthem. But as far as have I seen the band play? No, which is too bad because I love the band. And it doesn't have anything to do with the band being named Alabama. They could be called Potato Salad for all I care.
Mm-hmm.
I just like their music.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He sang the national anthem.
I don't care. I don't care
if
I don't care if the band Alabama's name was Georgia. It doesn't. Their name is not why I like them.
Mm-hmm.
I just made a Lego.
I mean, they had 42 number one hits. I mean, they're huge.
That's
how the hell do you
do
that?
It's probably the best country band ever.
It's got to be 40
dominate
number one hits
the 80s
band?
and the 90s.
How the hell?
Well, and country music, even to this day, is still very popular in SEC stadiums and around the SEC.
Definitely, for sure.
Why my school is different, I'm not sure, but I know most schools still play a lot of country music. I know that.
I'll say this, Jeff. If you ever do, you're gonna be in for a treat.
What?
No, to go see Alabama in concert.
No, they don't perform anymore.
Yeah,
no, they're getting ready to go on tour, but they're mostly doing stuff down south, like Arkansas and Alabama this year.
Yeah, but they don't have the elite. They don't have all the legends.
What do you mean? They still got the original members.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot
I
of
don't even
band.
know
I
what I
mean,
was even saying. Just
Drummer don't play with him anymore, or he for a while he didn't at least.
Yep. I gotta ask you this: what was your favorite song, Jeff? I got 3 of them from Alabama.
I like "Take Me Down." I like "Feel So Right," and probably "Angels Among Us" or "Love in the First Degree."
That's mine's roll on 40-hour week. Can't keep a good man down.
what's that song? What do y'all think about if you've ever played a Texas and fiddle or something? Yeah. Oh yeah, if you ever played.
All right. Oh, if you're going to play in Alabama, you need a fiddle in the band. Yeah.
Yeah.
my God, that guitar. Damn. Whoever that man is a legend.
Anyone watching this UCLA versus USC basketball?
No.
Why
I'm
is
not
it a
watching
trash game or is it a good game still?
Yeah, is it trash?
No, it's a good game.
Oh, actually, no, it's looking pretty good.
61-55 USC.
How much time left?
4:08.
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Stretch run.
Well, guess I'm a little bit ahead.
Yeah, because I'm looking at ESPN right now. I'm just. Damn.
I think the last. I've seen very, very few country concerts, but I did see Garth Brooks in the mid '90s when he was on his Fresh Horses tour, which was right in the middle of when he was going absolutely crazy, and it was like he was Elvis. I mean, it was Garth Brooks mania. He sold out Hilton Coliseum 3 nights in a row.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, bang, 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 3 nights in a row. And he put on a hell of a show. He was very entertaining live. He sounded good. He was entertaining. He was very engaging with the crowd. The music was good. I really enjoyed myself.
Hey Jeff, have you seen my 2 videos on my channel? The two songs I videotaped of the Rolling Stones playing in Atlanta.
I think I saw Shattered. Didn't you have Shattered?
I had Shattered and Satisfaction.
Okay, I've not seen the Satisfaction one.
No, you just got to listen to the part where Keith Richards just has his little solo. It's honestly amazing.
Shoot, doobie, Shattered, yeah.
Shoot away.
The Rolling Stones, great band. I love the Stones.
Yep.
Jeff, if I may ask, what was when you played high school football? What was y'all's stadium music, or what songs did y'all play?
Well, I've been sitting here trying to think of it while we were talking about that, and I don't really remember. I don't really remember because I never paid attention to it. I mean, I wasn't, I don't remember that we had music piped in over the PA. I mean, the band would play. We ran out to the band playing our fight song, which was the same fight song Wisconsin uses. It was on Wisconsin. Dun, 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 dun. That was our fight song. I don't remember that there was recorded music piped into the stadium. There may have been, but I don't remember. I don't remember it.
Yeah. 2 songs I remember my stadium plays. It's "Who Wants Smoke with Me" and "September."
Oh yeah, there you go.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of people in here wouldn't like "Who Wants Smoke with Me," and that's fine.
But September, man. Oh yeah, that's a good song.
Wait a minute, you mean September by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great song.
That's a great song. That's a great song.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes, when black music was black music instead of the noise that they make now.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
and
Jeffrey.
I actually never heard the song before. I heard it in stadium music.
Yep. Yeah, but yeah, we get a lot of rock in our football games too.
And now I think about it, at our basketball games, the pep band would be playing at the basketball. I just don't think it was done. I just don't think I don't think anybody did it. I don't remember anybody piping in recorded music, playing recorded music in the pre games or warm ups or anything like that. I don't remember that ever being the case. It could have been, and I just don't remember because that was a long time ago. But I sure don't think it was that. I don't think it was done. I know that our band would turn around, they'd march onto the field, and they would turn around and face the visiting crowd and play the visiting high school's fight song. and after that, then they would line up and make the tunnel that we would run out of, and you break through the whatever thing the cheerleaders had made for us, and then they would play our fight song as we rushed out. So you always played the opposing team's fight song as a courtesy to their fans, and then they would march down. And by about that time, we were coming out of the locker room, and so I remember that, but I don't remember during warmups when we were on the field that there was any music except like maybe if our band was playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if someone who, like me who likes is rapping all that, Who Wants Smoke for me is not a good song. I don't. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound like a good song.
I mean, if y'all have heard of it before, it's one. Yeah.
You know, my high school marching band plays the da-na-na-na-na-na hey song.
Oh, Rock and Roll Glitter Part 2.
Yeah, that song. They play that. It's really cool when they play that.
I know that for our basketball team, and I was not on the basketball team, but I know the cheerleaders would have a hoop with paper for them to crash through, and they would stand there, and right before the guys would come out of the tunnel, they would start clapping and stomping their feet, and they would say, we're waiting for the team. They're down in the locker room picking up some steam. We're waiting. And they would do that like 5 or 6 times, and then the guys would crash through and they'd play the fight song.
Yeah, they always play the fight song when team enters too.
And they'd say, here come your tornadoes, and then they would play the fight song.
Did you ever figure out how you guys got the nickname Tornadoes? I mean, being in Illinois and stuff, I figured it might be obvious, but I didn't know if you ever found out why.
I don't know. It always was. I mean, it was what it was. I don't remember if it was because there was a specific date and there was I don't know. They were just the Tornadoes. Some of the nicknames that I played against in not just football, but in a lot of these were baseball nicknames. Our conference was the Tornadoes, the Senators, the Spartans, the Redskins, the Knights, the Centurions, the Rail Splitters, and the Generals.
Oh, the Redskins. They still named that?
They really?
No, now they're the Warriors.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I figured that.
Yeah, I was about to say, what the hell?
And we played against the Flaming Hearts, the Zippers, the Pretzels, the Wooden Shoes.
Damn, Ballard.
Huh?
What are you doing, Ballard?
Because we
sorry.
we always
Making
played
video. I'm putting it together. I apologize.
It's all right.
We always played at a Memorial Day tournament in baseball at Tuatopolis, and their nickname was the Wooden Shoes, and it said shoes. Their jersey said shoes. Because they were
shoes.
It was a town settled by Dutch settlers.
Almost made me spit out my drink. Shoes.
Yeah, they were the Wooden Shoes. They were.
That's something LSU should do.
When I was in
Oh, Niles.
I was a junior, maybe. They did a rare thing. They won both the boys and the girls state basketball tournaments in the same year.
You know who
Wow.
should get that shoe thing? Florida.
Yeah, so we played against the Shoes, the Monmouth Zippers, the Effingham Flaming Hearts, the
You said
the
the
New
Redskins.
Berlin Pretzels. Trying to think of some of the other unusual names we played against. The Delphi Oracles,
Yeah, I've played against.
the Hoopston East Lynn Shuckers.
Hey Jeff, when you guys played Delphi, what was it? Basketball or something? And was it in the?
It was Delphi, Indiana. We played them, and they would come over to Tuatopolis and play in that tournament.
Was that the Bismarck Canning tournament?
What's that?
Which tournament was it though?
Oh, I don't know. It was always towards the end of May. It was towards the end of the regular season. And it'd be us, Tuatopolis, Danville, Schlarman, and somebody else, and then like Terre Haute and Delphi. It would be 4 Illinois schools and 4 Indiana schools.
Baseball.
Yes.
You know, still to this day with all the controversy and stuff, and I know Cleveland changed their name, but one of the high school teams we play, they're still named the Indians to this day.
Yeah. Well, the greatest high school nickname easily in the United States is from West Virginia.
Oh.
The town, and you can look this up. In fact, their gear, their swag, their sweatshirts, their t-shirts are a huge seller.
Oh yeah.
It's the town is Poca, 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 and their nickname is, I kid you not, the Dots.
What?
DOTS, the Poca Dots. Look it up if you don't believe me.
And I know that's honest for you to
No,
say.
I'm gonna take your word.
I know that's honest for you to say that because I know you don't like West Virginia very much.
Right, yeah, but that's
Shout out
the
to
most
Golden Blue,
fabulous nickname. I mean, the Polka Dots. I mean, that's just marvelous.
Shout out to Golden Blue, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or yellow and navy guy, as Jeff would say.
Gentlemen, I just got an email request to call a friend of mine who
Yeah.
lives in Corvallis, Oregon, whose wife is a professor at Oregon State. So I'm going to leave the room and give him a call because it's 9 o'clock out in California. So I'm sure he wants to talk Super Bowl.
Hey,
that being said,
so thanks for having me in, Ballard. Everybody have a great night. Stay
Always.
safe.
Hey, Jeff, I appreciate you talking to me over email.
Oh yeah, no problem, buddy.
All right.
Anytime you want to bring something up or you got anything you want to talk about, you got my email now.
All right. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. We'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
See you, buddy.
See you,
Love
Jeff.
See you later, Jeff.
Yep.
See you, Jeff.
Yeah, that
All
being said, guys, I'll say this real quick because I do want to end the stream. I got church tomorrow. Got a big day with Super Bowl and everything.
Yes, sir.
But before I let you guys off and before we end it tonight, final answers, final score predictions from you guys on the game tomorrow.
Who goes first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead, Will. Whoever wants to.
I'll go first.
You can go
34-13 Rams.
34-13. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
What do you got, Michael?
20-17.
Who you taking?
Bengals.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go 24-18 Rams.
24-18. Okay.
18.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I gotta stick to what I had in my preview video. I'm gonna go 27-23 Bengals.
All right. Well, guys,
Val, are you gonna end
May the
it?
better team win, though.
Can we talk back stream or was it back room? Or you gonna end it?
If you got anything like private, or I don't know. But
I'm gonna bounce because I might have a long day tomorrow and stuff. Because I might be going to
I mean, if y'all want to continue talking off the stream, I mean, I could just go ahead and end it, and y'all can. But I'm at least gonna hit the hay and try to go to bed.
All right.
Yeah, because I might have an opportunity to go see Purdue bitch smack Maryland tomorrow.
Michael,
I like how you said that, Mike.
I
I never
like it,
thought
I
about
like
it
it,
I have to
Mike.
ask you this before they leave.
Because I got a feeling that's what's going to happen tomorrow.
Bitch slapped.
What Purdue? What Michael? Is Purdue going to win the national championship? I need that answer.
I take it.
Jacob, I already told you that answer.
You said yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Let's go. Let's
We'll
go. I take it.
we'll see.
All right. I love y'all, man. Roll Tide.
Go
Hey,
Hey,
Dogs.
Tyler,
Dogs.
one last thing before you
Go
go,
Dogs.
man. Are you having
Go
a
Dogs,
stream after
baby.
they reveal the brackets?
Who?
You.
Oh, yeah. For March Madness? Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. We're going to look at it. We're going to talk all about it after tomorrow football season's over. And then we're getting on top of March Madness. But
You know, there is one thing. You know, there is one thing I forgot to bring up tonight, but
What?
we'll have to
What?
bring it up next week. That is how does Brian Harshin still have a job?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
It's beyond me, but God rest his soul. I don't know.
All
Yep.
right, I'm out.
All right, Michael.
Later,
See
See
you
ya.
later.
I'm out of
See you
here
later,
too.
Michael.
See you guys.
Love
See you later,
y'all.
Michael.
Good luck to Purdue.
Yeah, good luck to Purdue.
We out. Super Bowl tomorrow. May the better team win. And we'll see what happens.